Oh my goodness. So sorry. Hello, hello. Hopefully I'm audible. I guess I'm about to find out. We'll figure out if I'm being overpowered. Hello, hello, hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Volume check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Giving you a vocal check. Gotta make sure I'm audible in my own ear. And make sure we're plugged in and all that good stuff. Yes, I know. I was meant to start at 2, and I was like, I need to go ahead and push the button. Sorry that you can hear my chair. It's very squeaky. But yes, I think we're just about ready, and I'm tired of hearing that echo, so I'm going to turn that off so I don't have to listen to my voice. I'm a bit of a non-fan of my own. Anyway, let's see if this works. Making sure. Okay, I don't think it's I'm just trying to make sure that this is something I can use because pictures of real places are always a bit iffy. But anyway, I think I'm ready to go ahead and launch into the bit. Sorry that it took me like 15 minutes, but hopefully that means the ads played while I was away. Hello. Oh my goodness. There's like nothing behind me. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Let me see if this works. It might not because it occurs to me there's a lot of greenery in this background picture I'm about to use. But worth a shot, perhaps? I guess we'll find out together. Yep, knew that was gonna happen. Try to put that behind everything. And also make it so that picture is not nearly that large. Yep. Gotta shrink the image down. Please excuse my mess while I try to make this fit. There we go. I just wanted something behind me so that it wasn't a complete black screen. I feel like that was a little less inviting than, like, say, hey, here's a picture of a nice backyard. Unrelated. Um, but hello there. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Hope hope the music didn't die down. I do not have much of a plan, admittedly. We're kind of just coming into this whole hog being like, I guess we're winging it. I guess we're here. Full disclosure, as I'm messing with sizing and things, please bear with me. So I didn't realize that it was the anniversary of my acquiring affiliate until very recently when Twitch was like, oh yeah, you have that coming up in April. And I was like, I need a little more time, dog. So they let me extend it, and today was the second to last day. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we were like, May 1st, I'll take the day off. We'll do something. People that come by, great. If nobody comes by, it's all good. Because I did not have nearly enough time to plan or promote this little spiel. I have gotten a few things ready in the background. I've got Phasmophobia. I've got Jackbox. I've got... What did I say in all of my promotional material? Let me looky real quick. Because we are winging this like you would not believe. Jackbox, Phasmo, Lethal Company. I may be considering buying Repo. I might actually buy Cuphead today. Tier list. We're just here to hang out with you today. And if it turns into, I guess we're just going back to Trails with me and Travis, I got time today. I took the day off from work. I worked out yesterday, so I actually don't have to work out today. It's, I'm pretty set, honestly. Either way. But I did want to I am kind of glad that I have a moment to do a bit of a just chatting thing, because I can test this out. I will probably change it more to an animated background next time instead of a live action one, but I, work with what you got, and I don't want to use generative AI, man. That shit looks whack. Also, I'd rather pay an artist to make something I can have control over. To be like, hey, I would like for it to look this way, X, Y, Z. Had I known there was an anniversary coming up, I absolutely would have been like, let's pay for emotes, let's pay for new stream materials. I did not have the money this month to do that. I will probably have the money next month to start doing that. But this is very, the first couple minutes of this are just an update to get a volume check and also to be like, hey, this is what happened. But I guess in this moment, if I can be sappy before I bring Travis, my co-host, in, thanks so much for sticking with me all this time. I've actually had a few people recently join up and talk to me, and that's actually been very endearing and sweet. Whether they be from the Double Toasted community or other VTubers in the VTuber community, it's been nice, honestly. I just wanted to make sure that I properly emphasized I really appreciate all of you, and I hope y'all know that. But that's enough sappy. Travis messaged me saying he's ready to jump in at any time. I think I'm going to take him up on that, actually. Sure. Yeah, let me message him real quick. If you want to jump in right now, you can, man. Oh, he heard me. Hey, what's up?
Oh, okay, cool. Can you hear me?
Yes, everyone can hear you.
All right. So, yeah, we're just gonna be 100% fucking winging it.
Oh, yeah.
We have little to no plan.
Yeah, absolutely. When Twitch messaged me 2 weeks ago, your affiliate anniversary's coming up. Oh, that's really cool. I completely forgot that was in April.
Yeah, so like when you told me that, the first thing I thought of was like, since it's an anniversary, we got to look at just everything you've done. And if I'm being honest, what anniversary is this? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, it's the affiliate anniversary when we basically Twitch is like, hey, you did it. Here, you can have people subscribe to you now and get emotes and all the other good stuff.
Because you just told me I have an anniversary. What do we do for that? And I said, okay, here's my plan. And by that, I had 2 ideas.
Yep. I do have those ready.
Okay, yeah, that's probably for the best.
Honestly, I have. You know what? I say I have those. I really just have the one ready, and then the other one I was like, I guess we'll do it on air. I guess we'll do it live because I kept running out of time to do things this week.
All right, so we're gonna figure it out, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, absolutely. I am kind
That
of
is my
glad I had
favorite phrase. Is we're gonna figure it out and we're gonna make it work.
Yep.
We're gonna make it work.
Okay, I was worried I was gonna kind of hate this paneling system, but honestly, I think it just needs like a better background that's not live action.
Well, I'm watching it, and this looks like just some guy's backyard in the background.
It
Which
kinda
it's a
is.
nice backyard. I'm very jealous of that guy. I hate that guy now. But it's just a nice backyard.
that'd be the backyard of the place I'm currently living at. So you're just kind of like,
Well, it's a nice backyard. Damn you.
yeah, exactly. And
How
it's
dare
like-
you.
right? It's just one of those things where I was like, see, had I known that this was coming, I would have paid to have like backgrounds drawn and
My
emotes.
opinion is coming out right now. And that backyard is better, but my patio cover is significantly better.
Oh yeah, man, it's a fucking little, it's a little tarp we put up to keep the rain out.
Yeah. But that's a really nice backyard, though. That's just my pettiness coming out.
But yeah, we're in the mid stage of like moving things around and all that goodness. So but I guess this was a good motivation for me to be like, you know what, I am gonna go ahead and start paying for like backgrounds and panels and and new emails.
And it's definitely something like a piecemeal thing. Like, just as we realize we need something, we'll put it on the list.
Yep.
We're not gonna be like, all right, tomorrow, brand new shit. No.
No.
Let's be very clear. We're just gonna start piecemealing things here and there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the best way to handle it, but we are here. So, which is the one you actually had prepared?
Oh, I have the stuff you gave me and my additions to that list.
Okay, so the 2 ideas I came up with were we're gonna do a tier list of every game that's ever been streamed on this channel, and that's the back burner idea. Okay, the other one is we're both putting together a list of the 5 games we really want to stream. For logistical reasons, Adam knows my list already. I do not know his.
Yep.
So it is going to be brand new for me, because I have 5 in an honorable mention, and if I'm being honest with you, my top 5 things change all the time, so I don't even remember what I put down. And I said this to you like 2 days ago.
Hey, I know. And also, if you want to rearrange it, you can, because of the site I'm using lets me. It's basically a bunch of squares. Yeah.
Yeah, I was already drinking and smoking cigars when I sent you that text. I'm like,
I
oh,
had
hey,
a
peace out.
feeling, honestly.
So,
I put it
I was
in the
like, I
order
don't
you
know
gave
today.
it to me, but I also knew you when we got there, you'd be like, you know what, move that shit around.
or more likely than not, I'd be like, wow, I put that up there instead of this. Oh, damn. All right.
Yep.
Okay, so we are going to start with that. I don't know how that works, so you're gonna have to
Yep.
do
Here.
the technology.
I will do the tech part. So first things first,
I do the sarcasm.
we're gonna switch over to here, and it's got me very small, so let me fix that real quick. Zoom in.
You're so small.
I mean, that's just real life.
No,
I'm
that's too
sure-
big. That's too big. It like cuts your face off.
Yep.
There we go. That's
There
better.
we go.
That's better.
And now we're gonna do the window capture. The joy.
So I will say, my logic in putting together my list was stuff I'd look forward to play, but maybe stuff I haven't talked about too much. Because there's stuff that like we already kind of have planned out, and so this is stuff that like in the future I'd like to get to. but we don't have any solid plans, and there are some logistical reasons behind some of them. We'll explain as they come up.
Yes. I'm also messing with OBS as you're talking, so I'm listening.
But... Yeah, no, I understand. And so, like, what was the logic on you putting together your list? Just like games you're super hyped about? Because again,
I did.
This is my thinly veiled excuse to make you play games.
I always knew that deep down inside, which is why I've always been kind of, we'll get to there when we get to there.
Yeah, but I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush for anything. So what did you throw? Like your mindset of throwing your list together?
Let's see, is that showing up? You don't need to see.
I still got a black screen on the Twitch page.
Uh oh, well, that's no good.
There we go. Well, see, there's mine. All right. So you have. I like how you have this as like the okay.
There we go. Yeah, I didn't know how to organize it, but you basically were like, we'll get to it when we get to it, and I was like, got it, I'll work from there.
Yeah, I mean that's actually pretty good with that exact description. And again, we'll get through we'll walk through it, okay? So the bottom two, I don't know if anybody can see it because it's kind of a smaller picture.
Yep. I will zoom in as soon as I add all the stuff from mine, because as you can see, none of mine are in here yet.
Got you. I thought we were gonna do like one person's at a time, but yeah, no, throw your stuff in there.
I will throw my stuff in there, but I don't know if you'll be able to read any of it, so that also helps me.
That implies I know how to read to begin with. I literally read something yesterday because I was watching some anime subbed, and they said somber, and I misread it as fucking sober. Because the thing was like, oh, I don't like that somber you, but I misread it as sober you, so I was like, I don't like the sober you either. And I was like, oh, no, wait. Oh, yeah, that's sad. Never mind.
You're like, oh, wait, he's saying that he doesn't want
shit, I was like, oh, shit, I'm the asshole. Oh, no.
Okay. Now, I don't... maybe I can zoom in the window capture. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. There we go. I think that's better. I was also going to share the window to you through Discord, so you weren't having to keep up with, the stream.
Oh, shit, yeah, I've been just watching the regular stream. That one's on me. I'll go back to Discord, yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I just didn't know how this works, so I was like, I'll just stick on the regular Twitch.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Okay, we're loading. We got some nice jazz music in the background. I'm loving that vibe.
Okay.
I will literally listen to the Jungle Cruise line theme because it has like the 1920s music. And the Jungle Cruise line music is a better playlist than Spotify for some of that music, which is so sad to hear.
That is rough, actually.
That is so sad to hear. Or at the very least, there's a playlist on Spotify I don't know about because I don't use Spotify that often. That might be a me thing. Okay, so, right.
All right. So,
do you want to walk through your placements as you're putting it down, just because that'll probably be easier?
Honestly, that was going to be my suggestion, but also, did you want to go through your placements first, since they're already all up on the board?
Yeah, we can go through that, and well, as we're going through it, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know.
Yeah.
So at the "we'll get to it when we get to it" category. I am cheating because there are a couple of these that are 2 games, right?
I put your honorable mention together, by the way, so...
Yeah, it's totally fine. Digimon Story, Cyber Sleuth, and Hacker's Memory. Those, they're better than Pokemon. I will die on that hill. That's my first hot take of the day. I have now alienated half the Twitch viewers.
It doesn't help that I do fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, I know you do. And it pisses me off. I mean, if your fans like it and you like it, that's great. But you're like, oh, I'm doing Pokemon stream. I'm gonna avoid that. I went to a Collecticon, which was a Pokemon trading card thing, because my cousin and Lane a friend of ours.
Yeah.
He's basically my cousin at this point. Are super into it, and I was just so confused. I did not get it. I was like, people are paying $300 for a card? What the fuck?
Yep.
I don't understand.
Welcome
I was
to the
like, okay.
collection.
But aside from that, Digimon's better. That's the main point of all this. And this is like, we want to take the Digimon IP and make an SMT game.
See, that makes
Is
me
what
kind of
we-
excited for it, though, when we do eventually get to it.
They do have a Digilab, which is just the Velvet Room.
Nice.
Only the main character can go into it. There's an attendant there who's sarcastic. It's just the Velvet
So
Room.
they really, oh shit, like really just the Velvet Room.
It's just the Velvet Room. And what's cool about these games is that it's the same main story, but the second game is the main story again, but from a different perspective.
Oh, so like, okay, we might have discussed this, but it's basically the,
Yeah, it's like,
just a new
I don't
point
want
of
to
view.
say like Route 1 and Route 2, because the second game is they're all dealing with their own shit, but the original game story keeps fucking their lives over.
Hmm.
And so the whole time they're dealing with their own shit, but then every now and then like a plot twist from the original game will happen, and it just throws all their shit, like whatever they were working on is now completely rearranged.
Interesting.
And so you can't really play the second game on its own, because like just shit will happen. You're like, what the fuck? But if you played the other game, you're like, oh, okay, I know what's going on. And there are some crossover characters.
Huh. Neat.
The only downside is both of them have silent protagonists. That's one of my least favorite tropes.
I know they. I don't hate the silent protagonist trope, but it is a bit rough when it's
Yeah,
a little excessive.
for me, I usually am not big on like, oh, it's this narrative dissonance, just move past it. Like that's fine. Like you have a point, but I can't stand when people just talk around the main character and he just doesn't react, or is like the reactions are like very small. Because I realized it in Chrono Trigger, which is going to be on our list. I love Chrono Trigger; it's a great game. But like, how many times they're like, "I'm gonna just explain." Oh, thank you for explaining, and it's like, oh no, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. And they're like, oh my god, Chrono, I love you. And it's like, god damn it. He literally did nothing. Well, he did, but he didn't do anything in this conversation. That's my pet peeve. And I understand that most people don't have that, but that's my problem.
I gotcha.
Where would you rank this based on what I've told you? How am I selling it to you?
Silent protagonist makes it a little rough for me, but I guess if with the like promise of Digimon and SMT, because I actually do like Digimon, okay, you know.
Hey.
But the SMT I think bumps it up to like this eager of like, yeah, I'd like to get to that, probably a little sooner than later.
Okay.
For me personally.
Gotcha. And it is available on everything now, which is convenient, which is kind of the issues with some of our later stuff.
Yeah.
And why they're kind of backburnered.
Yep.
Alright. So then, my other one of the, we'll get to it eventually, and this is a logistical problem, is Tales of Destiny Director's Cut. This was fan translated, and I followed the fan translation party like crazy. I have not played it because my computer doesn't really emulate PS2 games very well. And I bought a emulator device, and it keeps freezing on the emulator device.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically Tales of Destiny 2. Or Destiny and Destiny 2. So it's like, I played the original Tales of Destiny.
Thank you for the lurk, Brother Fjord. I saw you come in.
Mhm.
I just wanted to acknowledge that I am looking at chat.
Yeah. What do you know about Tales of Destiny? Because ironically, you're the one who got me into Tales games. I have now played more Tales games than you.
Which is really funny. I actually don't remember what Tales of Destiny, or like where it falls on, if it's connected continuity-wise with any of the others.
Only to Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
But not to be confused with the American Destiny 2. They pulled some bullshit like for
Final Fantasy. Fun.
The short version on that is Tales of Fantasia never came out in America. Tales of Destiny on the PS1 did. It did pretty well, and so when they brought over Tales of Eternia, they thought it would confuse people if it had a different name, so they renamed Tales of Eternia to Tales of Destiny 2 in America.
Fun.
It's one of those.
Very fun.
But there is actually a Tales of Destiny 2 that came out on the PS2. Does your head hurt yet?
A little bit.
Yeah. I have not played Tales of Destiny 2 because there's no fan translation patch. There's a fan translation guide, but I don't want to play the game with like a book next to me.
Understandable.
Or like a PDF file of like, what did they say in this scene? I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I get it.
But this one is up here for logistical reasons because we'd have to use a PS2 emulator. And so it's like I want to do it, but messing with emulators is kind of a mess, especially on stream. It worked out well for Silent Hill, but those are more slower games. This is like a faster action game, so I don't know how that's going to look long term. So we're going to have to do some testing or something with other games.
I get it. It's a lot going on at once.
It really is, if I'm being honest. And emulation is great. I will die on that hill. I only emulate games that are not allowed, not around legally.
Yeah.
Because if it is available on something, I will buy it. But if it's not, I will emulate the shit out of it.
Well, yeah, just because you're like, if it's not available and it's not accessible, then what do? You're kind of
no harm, no foul. You don't want me to buy it. You don't want my money.
Yeah.
Which is why if I ran a game studio, I would literally look through our back catalog and be like, what's not on Steam? And have a team of like 4 guys. Hey, this is your job. Go through our back catalog. Throw it up on Steam. It doesn't have to be a big team, and it doesn't have to be immediate. Just start working on it.
Right.
Now, what is the oldest Tales game you've played?
Ooh, that's a good question. I can't... it might be... It's probably a cross between either Abyss or Symphonia.
Symphonia, because Symphonia came out before this.
Okay, then yeah, I think it's probably gonna be...
Why do I know that? Why do I know that off the top of my head?
I just like how that was just off the dome for you. You're like, yeah, I know what that answer is.
Yeah, because it's roughly Fantasia, Destiny, Eternia. Then this is where I start getting a little mixed up, because I think after Eternia, it was Symphonia. And at the same time, Symphonia was Legendia, because the team split. And so Symphonia did like its 3D thing, and Legendia stayed 2D, but still 3D, and not a lot of people like Legendia. Also, that is my game for like, do emulators work? Can I play Tales of Legendia? And I still have not played it yet. I've set it up on emulators like 7 different times. It's like, oh, let me see if I can get Tales of Legendia to work. I'm like, great, it works, and then just don't play it anymore. Nothing against the game, I just get really tired of dealing with emulators.
Understandable.
And then they split, and then Abyss came out, and that's where I get a little rocky, because then they start doing a whole bunch of side shit. So that's about the order. So Destiny, this is technically a remake of the second game that ever came out. And this is a 2D game.
Very cool.
So, Tales of Destiny, it has the Grace's battle system, but in a 2D plane.
Oh, okay.
The director's cut version, it does.
Okay, interesting. I was gonna say, the Grace's battle system in 2D sounds fascinating.
It was like the first start of like the numbers, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where there's no MP, and it's like you do the numbers to like build combos. It makes sense if you played it.
Yep.
Because in that game, it's like you almost have like action points. And you have so many, and as you level up, you get more. Or if you do so many hits, you get another one.
Interesting.
Which, there's some people who break those games. Alright, next one up is Jak and Daxter. I put this one up there for like the whole trilogy.
Yep.
We don't talk about Lost Age. It doesn't exist.
I just put up the collection logo because I was like, that's probably...
That's fair. This is the best PlayStation 2 platformer series. Just, it is. Because Spyro kind of went out the wayside during PS2. I mean, Ratchet & Clank's good. It's fine. Yeah. I've only played the first Sly Cooper, or the second and third are better. What do you know about Jak and Daxter?
Kind of fuck all. I know that he gets older as the series goes on. Jak does, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's about
'Cause
all I know.
What's funny is that with the first Jak and Daxter, they're like, cool, we want to do a Mario 64. That was their plan.
Right.
Like the open platformer,
Because
very light on story, very kiddish.
Yeah,
That's what they were going for.
It seems very.
And it sold.
Oh.
It sold well.
Okay.
But people were complaining about it not being cool and edgy. And so they made Jak 2, which is like the edgiest game I've ever seen. Like the 2000s Edge is unreal. That's where I started playing. Because of the Edge.
Gotcha. So it did its job. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. And they also complained about it being too easy. So they made Jak 2 super fucking hard. And I respect the shit out of that. The pettiness. I didn't know that going into it, but I was just playing it because it was hard as shit. And I was like, oh my god, this is great. And then Jak 3 is like a mix of both.
Okay. Interesting.
I think Jak 3 is actually the weakest in retrospect. That might be a hot take.
Ooh. Actually, well, because I know nothing about the series, I have no connotation.
You have no context on if that is a hot take or not.
Let me grab.
Well, I don't know. They just make a lot of decisions story-wise that I think are dumb. Mostly with changing his love interest right for the last game, and it's like, what the fuck? Why? All right, and then we're to the middle. This is also cheating because this is technically 2 games. It's the Crossbell arc for Trails.
Yeah, I was curious what you meant because you just said Crossbell and then you gave me 2 titles in the same slot, and I was like, okay.
It's like Sky 1 and 2, how you kind of can't play both, or you can't play one without the other.
Got you. Okay.
So you kind of need both of it together. And this is the best arc in Trails so far that I've played. I have not finished Cold Steel. I hear Daybreak is okay. And so I can probably say definitively that most people think Crossbell is the best. And what's good about this one is that it doesn't have a clean ending. That might be a little bit of spoilers, but it doesn't have a clean ending. And because of the ending of this, it has effects on the rest of the series. They still refer to the game, like what happens in this arc, all throughout the series.
Interesting.
And so it's one of those that like is really good, because it's like has some of the best characters. It really makes you feel for the location of Crossbell, and then by the end of it, you're like on one hand you're left satisfied, but on the other hand it's rough. Here, unfortunately, I do have to take a work call.
Oh, you're good.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Look.
He did not mute himself. Let me mute him.
Yes.
Hang on. There we go. You don't want it. His work is private. I started up, was like, oh no, he didn't mute. I was like, let me mute him real quick. Avoid getting in trouble, friends. But hopefully, hopefully everybody's being entertained and enjoying the commentary. I'm enjoying Travis's reason for why he put all his stuff on the on what tier of the list. Now I am going to check to make sure. Oh, here's a little update. I figured out how to do the ads at the top of the hour so that they'll like wait instead of trying to interrupt every 20 minutes, which was annoying. They will only interrupt at the top of the hour of the timer. And unfortunately, they are 3-minute ads. It's a little annoying because it's going to be longer. But they'll happen less frequently, which I think is a nice trade-off. But yes, let me go see. As a matter of fact, let me see, pull up my stream manager, see where we're at on that. Yep. I'm actually very excited to share like both my games that I've picked and what my reason is for putting them where they are on the chart. So hopefully you will enjoy the reasons as well. Granted, I think I did cheat with one of them, if I'm being real. I clicked the music track ran out for that jazz theme we had going on, so I just clicked the random one that said Chocobo and Chill, and honestly, very happy with my pick thus far. Whoop. Lost my headphones, y'all. Travis, in case you are listening and can't hear me, I did mute your mic, so let me know when you're back. Oh, you are back. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. No, you're good. So
you were talking on the phone, and I was like, "Oh no," because
yeah. Well, I actually stepped out. I stepped out of my room for that. It's just I had to answer it before I lost it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no. So I was back, and I was like, "Oh yeah. You know, you're like, I found Chocobo and Chill." I was like, "Great soundtrack. You've never played it before? Amateur hour." And that was all missed. Because you were responding, I was like, "Man, this dude's just like ignoring me."
Yep. Well, because I heard you answer, and because of the nature of your work, I was like, "Oh shit, let me mute that real quick."
Yeah. It's a never-ending job.
Yep.
I'm always on call for something. There's usually a catastrophe I have to deal with.
Gotcha.
Which is funny because I technically have no authority, but I get calls all the time. This was not one of those dealing with a catastrophe calls, but you know.
Gotcha.
I get calls, "Hey, how do you fix whatever?" And I'm like, "Okay, all right, let me walk you through it."
I like how you made it sound like this one's just a, "Hey, you want lunch later?"
Oh, no. This one was a work thing. This one was like about some shifts I have coming up.
Gotcha.
So that you did have to take it. It was not like, eh. Okay, but back to it. So with Crossbell, like I said, you really feel endeared to the city of Crossbell. And that's why it's referred to as the Crossbell arc, because they don't have trails to anything. So they just call it for, like, the city.
Interesting.
And again, like, what happens in this has major ramifications on the entire series. I know we're already knee-deep into trails, so I don't want to say too much on it, because we're working on it. We're just going to have to come to a decision once we beat second chapter. Do we want to go to third chapter, which is technically a filler game, or jump to 0? I'll let you decide that.
Now, is third chapter the one that you said one of these games apparently keeps getting retconned?
Well, it's like, it's not that it keeps getting retconned, it's that third chapter is pretty much just like all set up.
Gotcha.
And like it goes over like character backstories is the main thing. Because short version, they're all trapped in hell and they're like reliving their pasts.
Well, that's a hell of a thing.
Which I know I know that's a major escalation than what we've been playing in second chapter.
Right?
Where it's like, let's find Joshua.
Let's find this cult. Basically, has been the whole thing of second chapter.
Yeah, and then it's like, now we're in hell now. That's what third chapter is. And it's good. It does a lot of backstory stuff, and it does a lot of setup for later games. But it's more of a dungeon crawler, structure-wise.
Gotcha.
It's hard to describe. Alright, so kinda hype. Alan Wake 2. This one might be logistical, because I don't know if your computer can handle it.
Also, it was just a matter of I've never played the first Alan Wake, so I was like, I'm surprised we're jumping straight into 2, but alright.
I mean, you do need to know Alan Wake 1, 100%, but I'm trying to figure out, like, because I think you can go on Alan Wake 2 blind, and probably have a good
Good.
a good run at it.
Gotcha.
As long as you're familiar with the premise of 1 is.
Gotcha.
Do you know anything about Alan Wake?
I guess some people have compared it to Twin Peaks, the TV show.
Yeah,
That's about all I know.
that's fair. That's fair. It's very heavily inspired by Twin Peaks. Heavily inspired. But the idea of Alan Wake is that he's a writer, and he blacks out for a week. There's more to it than that, but this is the short version.
The short version, yeah.
He blacks out for a week, and when he wakes up, he has a whole new book written. And the book starts happening in real life.
Oh.
Well, in real life in the game.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And the reason why I put Alan Wake 2 up there specifically, because what they do is that they really play with what's real and what isn't real.
Huh.
Because people will come up to somebody and be like, this is slight spoilers for the character of Saga, who's added in the second game. Yeah, that's her name. Somebody comes up to her and is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your daughter's death." And she's like, "My daughter's alive." And she's like, "No, your daughter drowned like years ago." And she's like, "What the fuck?" But everybody legitimately believes that her daughter drowned.
Oh.
And so then it's like, is her daughter alive, or did she drown and she just thinks her daughter's alive?
Interesting.
And to really dial in the like, we don't know what's real and what isn't real, I'll have multiple cutscenes that are all the live actors acting out the roles. And so it's not in-game video, it's actual, like, they shot live footage of real actors doing the whole bit.
Oh.
And it will just cut in and out, and even as you're playing, you'll see, like, projections of, like, a live-action actor doing something. But then later on, it'll be the CG character model. So it really plays with, like, the surrealistic imagery.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm trying not to say more. They do have, like, a 30-minute short film that's just in the game you can watch or not. Definitely we're gonna watch it.
Yep, that sounds like a thing we would do.
Yeah, and perfect example is that the writer for this writes himself into the game as a character. Okay? Now, the guy who wrote this wrote Max Payne.
Oh.
And back in the day, they used his face as motion capture for Max Payne, the original one.
Interesting.
So, in Alan Wake's original book series that he wrote, it was about Alex Casey, who is basically Max Payne. And so, when the writer, who again, they used his face model for Max Payne, he just shows up in Alan Wake 2 as Casey. And they have a joke of being like, "Oh, do I not look enough like him?" And he does like the pose from like Max Payne,
Yeah.
like the face.
Yeah.
And so it's like a running joke, like meta joke within its own series that works within the story of Alan Wake 2 as well. It is a crazy game. This was a game that like every day I'd be sitting at home waiting for my next chance to play it, because me and my sister played it together, and so we got to play it together. And so if like I would get home before her, I would literally just sit like tapping my foot, being like, "All right, come on, you need to get home."
Damn.
Well, we gotta get back to it.
Very involved in it, huh?
Yeah, that came out the same year as Final Fantasy 16, and Alan Wake 2 is the game of the year
Shit.
for me.
Gotcha.
Which is crazy that it'd be a Final Fantasy game,
Yeah.
because I stand by that being my favorite JRPG series. Even though we have not streamed one, but that's more of a too mainstream.
a little bit of like.
Everybody streams Final Fantasy. Everybody streams Final
Yeah,
Fantasy. Let's
yeah.
play something. I'm more about let's play something different.
The funny thing is, like,
That's just-
I've pitched streaming 14, and then the people I would do that with were all like, "That's a really big endeavor." So I was like, "You know what? Fair.
Dude, I gave up on 14, but that's also because I hate MMOs.
You're not a fan of MMOs. I get it."
I get bored of shit. I can't do it. I like Xenoblade that has like an MMO gameplay, but I just can't do the actual MMO. And everybody's like, "Bro, the expansion packs where the stories get good." It's like, you mean I gotta play through the whole regular story just to get to the good shit? No. That's an investment.
It's a rough bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough one. And then the last one, which is the locked-in baby, Shadow Hearts. So I definitely think Shadow Hearts, even though it's 3D, would probably run a little better on an emulator
Mm-hmm.
over Tales of Destiny 2 because it's just less things going on.
It's not as
And it's not, it like, the graphics are better, but it's less stuff overall going on. You know, like, you'll have a spell effect of like a character charging something and it like shoots out like a laser beam. As opposed to you juggling 10 different enemies in like one combo with like 4 other NPCs and shit. Like, it's backwards because I'm like, oh, I don't know if we can run that 2D game, but that 3D game we can probably run.
Mm-hmm.
Which, pouring out for Pennyblood, which is the spiritual successor to Shadow Hearts because that's kind of going through development hell. And yes, I kickstarted it, so now I'm doing a Mighty Number 9 right now.
Oh, shit.
That's kind of what I'm dealing with.
Okay, well that, you know, at least you don't have a fucking Mighty Number 9 shirt in your closet that you never wear because you're ashamed of it, and you're also like, if I donate this...
Didn't you never actually play Mighty Number 9? Because I know you backed it.
I backed it, and then every bit of development, I was like, what are you doing? My name is probably...
Did it make you cry like an anime fan on prom night? A real phrase that they said
in the promotion,
in one of their commercials, not realizing that their entire fan base is like probably 50% anime fans.
Yeah, and then I was one of those people who basically went and immediately was like, is my name in the credits? Because I never gave you my name. Because they asked at one point, because they're like, hey, you can have your name in the credits because you paid that much. I'm ashamed of that. But no, my name...
The fact that you didn't put Balls Deep 69 disappoints me.
Listen, they already had enough problems. They don't need bullshit names, and their goddamn credits is another one.
That's true. That's true. So, Shadow Hearts, back onto the actual subject, not just being sad over Kickstarters.
Yeah.
It's a PS2 horror series. I would like to put Kudelka on there, but I know that one will not work on stream. Because the reason for that one is it's a PS1 game, and it's fully voiced. Very impressive for PS1. It's not long. We can kill it really fast. But the problem is that there's no save and switch discs.
Which is necessary.
Yes, it is. So, because I had issues running it, and I had to emulate it on a PSP, is the point I got to for trying to run this game. It is very hard to switch discs on emulators, because it doesn't always read it correctly.
Yeah.
So, usually on PS1 games, like, I'm using Final Fantasy VII, you get to the big climactic moment where somebody important doesn't make it anymore. Why am I not spoiling 7? We get it. We all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the game asks you, do you want to save your game? And it saves a clear file on Disc 2. You cannot start Disc 2 until the memory card and the disc read that you have that clear Disc 2 save file, right?
Sure.
Kudelka doesn't do that. It's literally gets to the end of a cutscene, and it's just like, alright, switch discs. Which would be fine if you had the physical PS1, because you just open the disc, this drive, and then put the new disc in. Emulators don't really do that.
Yeah.
Well, they can. I've seen people do it, but I can never get it to work for me for some reason. When I first got the idea of playing through Kudelka, I literally booted up a PS1 emulator. I also put it on a PSX2 and played through the first disc. Which is not long. It's only like 3 hours. So like I played through that whole thing just to get to the Switch disc, and I could not figure it out. Like it took me 3 hours to get to that point, and I spent another 3 hours trying to get it to work properly, and I was like, fuck. So maybe I'll figure it out down the line. So we're gonna go to the second game in the series, Shadow Hearts.
Okay.
Shadow Hearts is a indirect sequel to Kudelka.
Okay, so you don't necessarily need to play Kudelka.
You don't necessarily need to play it. There are some characters from Kudelka who show up later on. And the final dungeon is the location of Kudelka, where that game takes place. So that's awesome, but you don't need it. And this is a Lovecraftian horror JRPG. So it's like 1920s, turn of the century, which is like a very different time for a lot of RPGs. And it deals a lot of like not Cthulhu, but Cthulhu-esque monsters. Of like, oh, this is like a monster from the deep and blah 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 blah.
Interesting.
And it's a good mixture of like horror mechanics and JRPG-ing. And the main gimmick of the battle system is called the Judgment Ring. So every time you do any action, this is like spells, attacks, even items, a Judgment Ring comes up, and you have to hit the like sweet spots in time. So it'll be like 3 times. So you'll be like pop, pop, pop for the combo.
Yeah.
And if you hit like an even sweeter spot, you get a critical. But if you miss, the action fails. So like, you really got to be on your game. And it shows how important this is because Expedition 33 is basically using a similar system. And that game just came out. So Shadow Hearts is inadvertently super influential. It's like it took like the baseline from like Mario RPG, did its own thing,
Yeah.
and then now a lot of people are doing very visual equivalents to Shadow Hearts. Whether that was a direct inspiration or not, but I'm seeing a call. I'm saying it's connected, even though that is not officially from the developers for legal reasons. So that is what I'm looking forward to streaming, but also this is like we get to it when we get to it. I'm not gonna like, no, we have to play Shadow Hearts next.
Yeah. But it's just your big, like, I'm very hyped for this one, locked in the immediate time we're gotcha. Just kind of explaining the tier list and how we designed it, because I did just sort of name this haphazardly before we started.
I mean, it works for me, because I also literally sent you, like, here's the ranking, number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, anything that I say, like, no matter what the tier list says, I do believe, like, we are going to play Shadow Hearts at some point. This is not, like, next game we're going to play. This is not, like, I'm going to fight tooth and nail so we can play. It's like, I will always recommend it, but if we wind up playing something else, that's totally fine.
Yep.
Alright, so now we can go to your list, which I had no idea about at all.
Yep. You can see a lot
I'm
of
looking at it. I'm looking at it now. I'm seeing a couple of the. I recognize a lot of the names, but like start at the bottom and work your way up.
You got
We're
it.
gonna put it. We'll get to it.
Yep. Let me hold on first. Am I not having the?
Oh no, it's breaking again.
What's breaking?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
Because you're struggling. I was like, oh
No,
no, is it breaking again?
No. It's
Oh,
me
no.
trying to add a thing where I'm like, where did I put you though?
Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm seeing the Kingdom Hearts franchise, Signalis, Outside. No idea what that is. That's a brand new one for me. Metaphor, No More Heroes, and I'm assuming that's the new AI game?
Yeah, you got a pretty good eye.
I'm just really good at looking at box art. I'm not good at reading. I just recognize box art.
I guess I'm re-downloading box art, because I thought I had it.
Oh no!
Which,
Oh no!
That's also
because I mean I see everything at the bottom of the screen.
You know, it's really funny because I'm like, oh, I've got all of my stuff added while Travis is talking, and then immediately realized, oh, I'm missing one. Where'd it fucking go?
It broke on you. It broke.
A little bit. Oh, just a bit.
Okay. Well, which one are you looking for?
Let me see if this works. No, okay, that's why it didn't save. It was like the wrong file extension, which is annoying.
Here, while you fix that, I'm gonna go let my dog outside. He's
Absolutely.
getting antsy.
Let him go. What do I have to put? Make it a JPEG, please? Oh my goodness. Okay, so while he's taking the dog out, it's actually the Silent Hill 2 remake is the one I was looking for. But for whatever reason, the box art was like all web AVIs or whatever, and it's like, please, a JPEG. Thank you. This was much more difficult than necessary. Anyway, hopefully I didn't close out our... Okay, good, I didn't. I got it. That was way too hard. That was not necessary. But you know what? It's good that he took the dog out. We're in the middle of the ad break. I didn't even realize that we'd started ads. So we will sit here together while we get ourselves situated. Hopefully y'all are doing well. like 40 seconds before the ad.
So, yeah, I see it. I see you're waiting for it.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. This dog was like bugging me, right? And I was like, okay, cool, I'll walk you outside. Walked him all the way out, opened the door. He stood outside for like 2 seconds, and then saw me turn around and walk back in. I was like, oh my god.
Is your dog a cat? Because that's usually more of a cat.
Yeah, it's a basset hound. Basset hounds are just cats, but dogs.
Ah.
And whiny. I don't know if you ever met a basset hound, but they do not handle, like, any kind of pressure.
Oof.
Alrighty, so ad break just ended.
Yep, yep. I found
Sweet.
the cover.
Alright, we will find it? Sweet. Okay. Alright, so starting at the bottom, work your way up. Sell me on these games.
Alright, we get to it when we get to it. I'm actually going to start with the honorable mention. And I'm going to go with Look Outside, which is an indie horror game.
Look Outside.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's an indie horror game. Pixel art style. And it looks interesting. Okay. It's kind of popping off in the indie scene currently.
Okay.
I've only seen a few streams of it so far. I'm actually not too sure what it is, and I'm kind of like in that mindset of, ooh, I can actually kind of keep it that way. I'd like to go in and be surprised.
See, I do like to be surprised on some things, but also if it gets spoiled for me, I'm not gonna like freak out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know I really was dancing around like spoilers for Final Fantasy VII earlier, and that's like out of respect for people who do care about spoilers. But me personally, I don't. Because if anything, it might sell me on it more.
Right.
Being like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I like what that does. Oh, I want to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
But you said you want to go into this blind, right?
Yeah, because I have.
Or as blind
as possible.
So I will now avoid it like the plague.
Yep.
Out of respect for that. Because I mean, I did go into Fear of the Spotlight pretty blind.
Honestly, and I think that made it better.
That worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
I think. I think horror games are probably the ones you want to go in a little more blind on, but I still stand by, like, at least the horror games I play have such interesting ideas. Like, again, like Alan Wake 2. Such interesting ideas that being spoiled on it doesn't ruin the experience. Because I think that's something that horror does. Horror always has, like, the coolest ideas for things. And that's hard to describe. I think about, like, horror games all the time and just like, oh, what issue is this tackling?
Yeah.
What's the deeper meaning? And I think that's something only horror can do, because it's like it's supposed to like scare you with this thought of like, oh, isn't it horrifying if you didn't know what was real?
Right. Well, it's just
And so
taking away the, you know.
saying as little as possible. What's the premise, or would that be too much already?
The premise is fine because I think the premise helps sell things.
Okay.
So let me pull up the page.
Oh, we're pulling up the Steam description.
Honestly,
All right.
yeah, that'd probably be the best option because I was like, oh, I'll pull up Wikipedia, and I was like, that's a bad idea. Wikipedia.
Firefox? You use Firefox? Oh, Wikipedia will spoil the hell out of you.
Yeah. I do use Firefox. Mostly.
I can't say much. I use Chrome.
I was gonna say Chrome kind of fucking decides to use a bunch of process power at once.
It does, but I mean, I don't really use my computer for anything else. So
Gotcha.
it don't matter.
Look Outside is
All
a
right.
survival horror RPG set in a single apartment building. A mysterious event turns anyone who looks out the window into grotesque monsters, leaving in the world in absolute chaos. Scavenge the building to seek food, supplies, and weapons while encountering strange characters, human and otherwise.
This sounds kind of like someone watched Sweet Home and was like, "I'll make my own indie game."
But yeah, it's like a turn-based RPG.
Ooh, it's turn-based too.
Yeah.
Man, you're selling me on this right now. I think turn-based is like great for horror. That might be a hot take, but I think it's great for horror. I think there should be more turn-based horror games.
I mean, this looks interesting enough to where you're like, okay, I guess I'm having to manage my resources. Also, what turns can I manage?
Mm-hmm.
Can I
Well, because
risk
there's an inherent stress to turn-based games where it's like, can you push it further?
Sorry.
That is super indicative of horror games. Can you push it further? Can you go a little bit more? Or are you just gonna run back to safety? There's a
Honestly,
lot of decision making there.
you know, I feel bad because I didn't know much about it, but now that I'm looking at it, it might go out of my honorable mention.
Put that up. Put that to like kind of hype.
Honestly, kind of, yeah. Like, it's still gonna be the honorable mention because I didn't plan for it, but honestly, it
Yeah,
kind of...
that's okay. That's what the point of these tier list videos are. We move shit around.
Yeah.
Mine's pretty locked in though, just because I feel confident in that.
Right.
But no, Look Outside. Bump that up.
Yeah.
Bump that up. All right.
Signalis was kind of gonna be in the, like, I'll get to it when I get to it for much the same reason of...
You can still throw it there. You can still throw it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
throw it wherever you want. I'll still judge you for it, but throw it wherever you want.
Because I...
Dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
Like, I realize that this is very much more of a variety stream setting, and I do appreciate having that freedom. But I am thinking of, like, moving more towards horror games, just because they're a little shorter and a little more easy to manage.
This one's kind of my fault because all I play are horror and JRPGs and occasional platformers.
Yeah.
That's why if you look at it, it's like horror game, JRPG, horror JRPG, and the one platformer.
Mm-hmm.
So that, admittedly, that's my fault. That's all I really play. And so, like, when you're like, oh, what games we get on stream? I'm like, fucking Trails, let's go.
Yep.
Like, that's my first thought.
Yep.
So, I am always down to, like, break out of my shell and maybe learn more. Because I don't really play shooters. I don't play all multiplayer games. Visual novels, I've played a couple, but I'm not really sold on them. But I'm down, especially in the stream setting, for whatever, right?
And the, like, I want to branch out. I'm still going to do variety games, especially because I might have an offer from a friend to do, like, indie promotion for people. So that'll
Hey! Sweet, I do like indie games. We gotta give indie games more love.
Yep.
That's our blind spot of what we've played so far.
Yeah.
Because I love, like, finding smaller games and being like, hey, here's some weird shit you've never heard of that has, like, a really cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
And indie games is literally just that, the genre.
Basically, yeah.
But it is intimidating, that's why I haven't recommended a lot of them.
Touch me.
But I would like to do more.
Who did touch me? I heard
Touch me
that.
harder.
Who did touch me hard?
Ooh, yeah! Ooh. I
Hey,
like it.
Sniper. Hey, Azure.
Ooh.
Thank
Alright.
you. Thank you for the touch me harder.
Mm-hmm.
Very glad I made that a sound alert. I might be making a few more in the future.
Please do. Please do. But we've definitely gotten the most mileage out of the Touch Me and Touch Me Hard.
Yep.
That's the one we got, which we actually need to, I think we need to reset some of our sound cues. That's something we might talk about afterwards.
Yeah.
I have a couple, well, those are not moving. Those are staying there
I like
forever,
how you
no
were
matter
like,
what.
touch me and touch me harder, stay indefinitely.
Yeah, everything else we'll talk about, but those two stay.
Yep.
And we'll never play the third part of that clip.
No, we will not.
As a guy who flirts with being canceled, that would definitely get me canceled.
Anyway, the Signalis is like another indie horror game with kind of a similar.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised you picked two indie horror games.
Honestly, I think I just wanted to sort of branch more towards like a.
Okay.
Especially because, I play longer games, which is nice, but horror games at least have the benefit of being relatively short most of the time.
No, I see your point. Like, the longer games are great, really good for like investment, but for like a hey, you don't really want to necessarily watch a 20-hour cumulative stream.
Yeah.
Here's a short, maybe 2 sittings, we'll get it done. No, I definitely see your point.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like with Fear the Spotlight, where we did it in 2 sittings unintentionally because we're just like, just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. It's also about that long, but whatever. All right, so 2 indie horror games. I'm actually really interested on that. Like, Don't Look Outside. Signalis has been on my list to play for a while. I'm just cheap and I haven't bought it yet.
I'm kind of the same way. It's kind of my problem. Look
Hey,
Outside
hey.
is $10, and I've been like, I don't know, man. That $10 is like a sandwich.
Bro, that broke life. No, I feel that. There's a couple indie games I want to get where like the base price is $20, which in this market is amazing.
Yep.
And I'm still like, I'll wait for a sale.
Mm-hmm.
Which I did actually buy Expedition 33. 1, because it looks amazing. 2, because it's a AAA game sold for $50. And with games becoming $80 to $90 baseline, I was like, I think I need to buy this out of obligation.
Yeah, especially because people are like, oh, what if GTA comes out and it's gonna be $100? And I'd be like, go fuck yourself. But I know people will buy it.
Yeah. My decision process was definitely like, I do really want this game because all the trailers looked really good. I will now buy it at full price instead of waiting for a sale for that reason. Because I very rarely buy games full price. That's one logistical reason too. Like if it kind of sucks, I mean I only spent $10.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah, exactly.
All right. So what is your third game?
Of this list, I am gonna go with the No More Heroes. I still have not done Travis Strikes Back, and that's kind of the reason I haven't done 3.
So this one's 3 specifically.
I guess you could say both this and Travis Strikes Back. I'm kind of cheating and using it as a template for both.
Okay. Because I've never once played a No More Heroes game.
I really enjoyed 2. I know people were like, 1's better.
Is
but
2 on Switch? Because I know 1's on Switch.
I think 2 might be on Switch now.
Okay.
I'd have.
Because that's my thing. Is I hate it when franchises are not on the same console, which is funny because I'm a massive Kingdom Hearts fan.
I was about to say, Mr. Kingdom Hearts fan.
I think Kingdom Hearts is the reason why that annoys me.
I think
because I had to go through so much work to keep up with Kingdom Hearts.
I used to push that Kingdom Hearts has a confusing story, and I still maintain that it has a lot going on. But in retrospect, I think my problem is the fact that it kept being like, and here's lore on different consoles.
Oh, that's 100%. We'll put a pin in that because that's going to come up with the Kingdom Hearts collection.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put a pin in that.
Okay.
We're going to talk about No More Heroes. But mostly because I don't want to double up on Kingdom Hearts conversation.
Fair enough.
I will be here for hours.
We got time, but yeah, go ahead.
We have time.
But yes, No More Heroes. I really enjoyed the second one. I know people say the first one's better. Narrative-wise, I agree. Although I would argue that's kind of the point of 2, is that it unfortunately does the, hey, fuck you, isn't revenge unsatisfying? I'm like, yeah, but did you have to make the game final boss suck?
So it's a Danganronpa 3 situation?
A little bit. That's a good way of describing it, of like a V3.
Okay, because I know the payoff for Danganronpa 3.
Yeah.
Which, on a meta level, I think is fucking hilarious.
Yes. Like,
But as an individual story investment level, yeah, it kind of sucks.
where you're like, listen, I get what you're going for with this metaphor of like...
I get the joke, I understand, I respect that you did it. It still kind of sucks though.
Yeah, like, I would have rather had like a really cool fight instead of this
Gotcha.
awkward ass nonsense you did.
Because I don't know the context behind it because I've watched so many of the top 5 worst boss fights.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched so many of those videos, and for the longest time, No More Heroes 2 was on the list.
Yeah.
Where it was, depended on the reviewer, but it was always on the top 10 worst final boss fights.
Oh yeah, no, and I don't.
You're telling me that was intentional.
Very much so, of like the themes of, because without, I mean, I don't know why I'm being like spoiler sensitive for a game that old, but I'll
Out of respect,
the theme of the game is like you are on a revenge quest, and when you get there, you're kind of confronted with this idea of like, hey, you did all this shit. Are you happy? No. That's kind of the fucking point, is that this was never going to make you happy.
Okay, so given that theme, do you think, and this is definitely like armchair quarterbacking,
Yeah.
In retrospect, we're not game devs. Do you think it could have been done better, or they did that the best they could at the time?
I think there was probably a much better way to do it, of like, you could have the satisfying fight, but also narratively reinforced. Yeah, but your friend is still dead. You're not happy.
Yeah, but you're not happy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think it's pretty good because No More Heroes has been on my radar for a while, but and again we'll come back to it for the Kingdom Hearts debate. Like, I went through such hell trying to play through all those games on everything
Mm-hmm.
that it didn't really sell me on that because there was like a PS3 version of No More Heroes, which is great, but there's no No More Heroes 2 PS3 version, so I was like, okay. And then 3 came out on Switch, and I was like, well, I'm not going to buy 3 if I haven't played the other 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so, on to your next one.
Ooh, let me go check and see if our music ran out, because the Chocobo...
It did. It's quiet now.
Yep. Here, oh, they have a Chocobo and Chill 2, actually.
Chocobo and Chill 2, Electric Boogaloo? Yeah, roll it.
I like how, I know you can't see the video, but they have it in the Final Fantasy font. It's actually really good.
Nice. Alright. So, I mean, yeah, I guess we probably should play a Final Fantasy game at some point.
At some point. Which one. It was just, yeah.
And then which version? That's another nightmare we gotta go down.
God help the people doing Remake, because, you know, they got Remake, Rebirth, and now they have to wait until, what,
Undetermined?
Yep.
For that's me. I think it's gonna be called Reunion is the underscore, which makes sense.
How many games is this remake gonna be?
3. This one's gonna be the last one.
Okay.
Allegedly. They've been saying 3.
Okay.
As someone who's been enjoying the shit out of the remake games, it's not for first timers. It really isn't.
Okay.
They do a lot of meta shit that, like, if you don't know the wider 7 universe, this is gonna mean nothing.
Got you.
Like, they do a good job of incorporating things for sure. Because, like, in the Yuffie DLC, you're breaking to, like, a Shinra facility, and you have to fight Deep Ground, which is the bad guys in Dirge Cerberus. Like, great. Awesome. That's a reference that if you get it, great. If you don't, that's fine. It still works.
Yeah.
But then, like, the ending of Rebirth specifically is like ooh, I don't... Okay.
I don't know about that.
Which is kind of how I felt at the ending of the original remake was, I don't know how I feel about that. So it's insane that I waited a whole other game and however many years just to be at the same reaction. So we'll see how that third one goes.
Yeah.
And the next game that you're gonna grab is...
Oh, the next game, I think it's going to be the Silent Hill 2 remake. That's the one I was fishing for.
Hey! Oh, okay, so this one, you said you wanted to play at launch, and I vetoed that.
You did veto me, which I was surprised by, that you were like, no.
Because I had to play it with my sister first.
That's what it was.
Like,
I couldn't remember if you had
we're super big horror people, and we love Silent Hill 2, and we're like, we need to play the remake. But unfortunately, I was like, yeah, Silent Hill 2 remake's coming out. I bought my copy. We're gonna beat System Shock first, because we had already started System Shock. System Shock is an old game, and there are not really any good walkthroughs, and it is a very confusing game.
Sure.
So we struggled, and it took us a lot longer to beat System Shock than I had planned. But I have now finished the Silent Hill 2 remake, and I'm happy that we waited. Not because the quality of the game was bad and I can like filter it. No, it's great. 10 out of 10 actually. Because I was sitting there and I was playing it with my sister, and my sister's girlfriend just happened to be sitting in with us. And then she got really interested. So all three of us were playing through the Silent Hill 2 remake together.
Interesting.
And that was really fun. And it's not a slight against you, it's just I had a good experience with like a group playing it. So I am happy we waited. But as someone who has played it and you have not, I can't wait. We might move that up to like locked in, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Move that up.
You're like,
move that up.
You're like,
I don't know when we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it.
Okay, you pushed the up. All right, cool. The oh, sorry to interrupt, but like I was looking up the Look Outside because I admittedly got really invested in that plot process. Digital Devolver is the studio that made it. They also made
Oh yeah, I like Devolver Digital. They do a lot.
Devolver Digital.
They have a really wide catalog too.
Yep. They also made Carrion, which is...
I heard the good things about that. Then they also did Into the Gungeon, which is the first game I played by them. I super suck at it. It's a great game, but I super suck at it. That is definitely a skill issue. Okay, yeah. So, what did you want out of the Silent Hill 2?
I would like to, and it kind of sounds like they've added a little more to Eddie as a character, because as much as I enjoyed all of the weirdness, I do think Eddie was kind of the weakest character.
He still is, because there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they do a little more to like flesh out him a little more. And it's hard to describe because the way they added it was very subtle.
Sure.
Like, because they don't add like any more scenes with him, but like slightly like the way the scenes are paced, I think do better. Or if they did add a scene, I don't remember exactly if it was in the original, and I might have missed it. I don't have a Photoshop memory of the first of the original.
That's understandable.
And so, if I think it's a new scene, but it wasn't the original, that might be just me missing it.
You know, it's fair.
So I think they did a lot of really good subtle things, and there's stuff in the background that you have to know Silent Hill for them to know what they added. Perfect example. I don't think this is really spoilers.
Sure.
With Angela at the end of the game, she says there's a line where she says, "You see it too. For me, it's always like this."
Right, I remember that.
I'm not going to explain in what referred to, because she perceives the world differently. And at the end, James is finally seeing how she sees the world. They have a lot of really, really subtle things to say how Eddie sees the world. But they don't call attention to it. You have to know that they see the world differently for these things to make sense.
Gotcha.
And so I think they do a good job with that. I think they did a really good job with Laura, actually. The kid that they got to voice Laura did a great job.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and the guy who did James, I was a little skeptical at first, also did a great job. Like, he was nominated for like Performance of the Year for Game Awards. I don't think he won, I don't think he won, but he was nominated, and definitely respect. He should have been nominated. He did a great job.
Yeah, very nice, very cool.
Yeah. Also, they changed it to more of a Resident Evil 4 game without making it fully Resident Evil 4,
That
and I
was
think they did a great job with
okay. That was my main concern of like, okay, but how much Resident Evil 4? Because too much gets to a point where you're
There-
like, eh.
There are a couple instances where you are swarmed, but one specifically is like a get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are not supposed to fight all these guys.
Gotcha.
Because there's one thing where like I was walking in, I'm not gonna say the area. You're walking into an area and you start seeing all these dead bodies, right?
Sure.
And then you pick up the key item you need, and then all of them get up at once.
Oh, okay.
And the only way out is to turn around and book it. And so when I was playing it, I realized that like the second the animation of like me picking it up was, I was like, oh shit, this is a get out, this is a gotcha, this is a get the fuck out.
Yeah, they're like,
And then all of them get up as soon as I said that. And I was like, fucking run, go,
they're pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like stuff like that I think is great. They rework some of the boss fights and they do extend the final boss. They add a new phase to the final boss. I don't know if that's good or bad for you.
I mean,
But
I kind of remember it being fairly straightforward because it wasn't like
it's like they add a new phase to it. It's like a lot of the same baseline mechanics, but it's just like a slightly different moveset.
Mm-hmm.
They do add a couple phases to like Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie already was in phases, but they like make the phases more distinct. The biggest makeover was Angela's boss. And the less I say about that one, the better.
Okay. Good to know.
But they do make some changes.
I am very excited for it.
And it is really good, actually.
Yeah. But yes, I do remember being like, let's do it at launch, and you immediately shut that down. You're like, no, I gotta finish this first.
Yeah, it's because I had already made plans, and I was like, I would lose my mind if I was playing it twice in a row.
Fair.
Because I would start losing track of where I was on my play, or if we get farther ahead, then like I would just like cheese it for when I was playing it. Because I was like, oh, I saw you can get through it like this, boom, 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 done. And it's just not as fun. Since I was the one physically playing it with my group.
Yep.
So like me watching it, I think will be fine because I'll try not to give you like too many hints.
Gotcha.
But if I watched you do it and then I'd be like, all right, let me speedrun this. That's not as fun for my group anyway. All right. So your next game you're gonna throw on there. What you got?
Yep. The next game is No Sleep for Kaname Date from the Somnium Files. And that is going into my kinda hype because I really enjoy the Somnium Files. I know you've never played it, but
I really want to, but I keep not doing it, and that's a me problem. Like I literally have it installed on my PS5. I know that's gonna piss you off more.
I know.
Because I was gonna play it, but I was like, this is gonna be a big investment, right? So I'm not gonna play it. But then I was like, well, my sister liked this game, so I was trying to get her to do it. I don't think she will.
Yep.
So then now I'm like, okay, now I gotta find time to play this game.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's always on like I'll play that next, and then something else.
It pops up, basically.
And then I wind up playing some shitty Dark Souls clone.
See, you could have just left it as, I found something else I'm interested in. You didn't have to tell me it was a shitty Dark Souls clone, because then I'm like...
Hey, have you played Steel Rising, the French Victorian Dark Souls game?
No, I haven't.
That I got for free off of PSN?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's Have you played Mortal Shell? I haven't, because that's the only Souls game I dropped is Mortal Shell. I do not vibe with that one.
The reason I am actually very excited for this one, I'm a little disappointed that it appears to be a spin-off instead of in the main timeline, but I also get it because it'd be kind of fucking insane to have like a third game in this timeline, because it's...
Oh, so the second game ends that definitively.
The second game ends... Yeah, there's like a big time gap between the first and second game, so I get why they were like, we gotta do a spin-off because I don't feel like designing new models for these characters.
Is this like a spin-off that takes place like in between the first and second game?
Nobody
know.
Nobody's aware.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we're all kind of assuming it's in between the first and second.
Okay.
Yeah. Like probably before the second game happens, but not, after the first, obviously.
Now, I know you streamed the second one. Have you streamed the first one?
I think I played the first one on my own.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the second one I did stream and I really enjoyed that. I know people were kind
And
of.
you're
Oh, continue.
okay. Sorry, you finish.
Yeah, I was like, I know people were kind of split between the second one, and people were like, well, I like the first one better because Date basically got written out of the first game, or the second game.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
There were two protagonists in the second game, and Date was like, hey, I'm here, but I'm not the character you're playing as.
I'm over there. I'm still here. I'm relevant, but
Yeah.
just not
I'm not
the guy.
I'm not the playable character. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in your experience, would you say that this would be a good stream for me to sit in, or would this be better for you? Because if it's for me to sit in, I would probably have to speed run at least the first game.
I think you would enjoy it, and the reason I'm going to say that is because this gameplay, because they put out a game trailer, it's both the Somnium Files gameplay of that weird dream logic and 999 put together, because there are there are escape room puzzles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit. I need to bump up the new game.
Yeah.
I mean, that works out. I'm actually about to finish a game I'm working on now, so I make no promises.
Yep.
But potentially.
Potentially. But yes, the
I was gonna play Cold Steel 4, but I will put that back on the back burner.
Thankfully, Somnium Files is also not a extensively long game, just by virtue of being.
That does help.
Yeah, just by virtue of being visual novel light.
Well, I figured it would the actual gameplay of it isn't long, but the playing of it would be.
Yes.
Because I will say, with Virtue's Last Reward, my playthrough got up to 40 hours, and I was like, holy shit, how did this happen? Dear God, that time flew.
Yeah. Now, was it
Well,
the reading or the
puzzle?
Was it the reading or the puzzles that made it take that long?
Yes.
Because I know
I think a little bit of both.
Because I know if it was voice acted, it might have helped you, and that's not a dig on you. I just know that you know.
I mean, I definitely did burn through Zero Time to Live, and that's completely voice acted.
Yep.
So that might be the thing.
That might have helped.
That might have helped, yeah. And you did tell me that every time you see a guy, you need to ask him his name.
Yes, I've always asked that guy his name. Anybody who plays Somnium Files knows immediately what character I'm talking about, and they don't remember his name.
Being an asshole.
Yep.
Like in Persona 5, the new phone Who's This bit
Yep.
killed me. Short version of Persona 5, a mysterious person calls the main character, calls them out by name, and you can literally respond with new phone Who's This? And it's like, oh, I know your identity. It's like, nah, who's this? And you could do it 4 times in a row. I was like, new phone, who this?
Yep.
So I love crap like that.
It's awesome.
All right, what's your next game?
Yes, excuse me.
I think
Metaphor.
if my counts correctly, we got 2 more left.
Yep. Metaphor was actually going to be my locked in, because as much as I am excited, it also kind of scares me, but I do want to.
It does scare me as well.
Yeah.
That's a long game from what I heard. That's an investment.
Yep.
I have a copy because Atlas is bound to release another one the second I bought one. So, we'll probably have Metaphor Refantasio. They're just gonna say it again?
Yep. The
Refantasio?
The interesting thing about that of Metaphor to me is how much the file size is to download. Cause
how much is it? I have literally I bought a new copy. It's still wrapped.
So
how much is it?
On Steam, it's 80 gigs, which is
Jesus.
Yes, Persona 3 Reload was 24, and apparently they just did not do compression very well, because there's just a lot of things that aren't compressed. Which
visually would that matter, or is that just a back end thing?
That's more matter? It really wouldn't matter on the back end. It's just the type of thing you do to optimize the file sizes.
Okay.
Apparently there's a lot of unused content in there that's still in the files, so.
See, I have not played Metaphor yet on my own either. I know it was nominated for Game of the Year, which, from what I've seen, sounds great. More JRPG love for Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Also good. But it seems to me like it's just gonna be like Persona, but this time fantasy,
Right.
which I know is what people wanted, but I'm a little scared that it's gonna fall into the Persona traps. There's a party member you don't get until you're right at the end of the game anyway, and you have to speed run all their development. The main plot is gonna be almost intentionally meandering because of the structure of it. It kind of has to set up for long-term storytelling with the time system, which I know the time system is pretty much back.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has me a little worried. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you know anything that maybe puts that to rest or will make me feel better.
For which thing? I'm so sorry.
All of the things. All of it. Like, I'm a little worried about some of it.
I am going to be completely transparent. I got a message on my phone from work, so I'm just responding to that.
Oh no! It happens.
Yeah.
I had to derail everything for my stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but like I said, I'm worried about it falling into some of the Persona traps, and I'm already kind of not done with Persona, because, like, if they announce Persona 6, I'm still going to be back on that hype train.
Yeah.
But just, like, it does a lot of things that I am not a fan of, and I'm scared that it's just going to do those again.
Oh.
Like, it taking too long to introduce the entire party.
Gotcha.
It feeling like it's just making stopgaps for stopgap's sake.
I see what you're saying now. Okay.
There's no real story development for a long time of gameplay.
Got you.
And I understand that that's part of the structure. I get that. But I feel like if you do it too much, it would start to wear on me.
It starts to feel segmented in a way that's not very inviting.
Because, like, I've only fully beaten Persona 3 and 4 for those date systems.
Yep.
And sorry, not 3 and 5, not 4.
Yep.
But I'm scared if I do it too many times, it's gonna, like, instead of being like a fun new game, it's gonna be like okay, alright, now I gotta dick around for 5 days.
Do time management bullshit.
Yeah, let me just... Yeah, like, and I'm just worried it might wear on me, so I'm kind of worried that Metaphor will.
I didn't even realize that Metaphor had a time system going on like that.
It does. It has pretty much the calendar system. It's done a little differently. It's essentially the calendar system.
Gotcha.
I'm not quite sure on the changes. I heard it is done a little differently.
I mean, I guess it's interesting in as much as you're not in a school setting, so it's not like you're like, okay, now you have to go to class. I'm like, what the fuck are you asking me to do? Like,
the whole thing is he's like trying to get votes, and so the time system is basically like until the election happens. But it will Persona you, like how every month has its own specific sub-story.
Gotcha.
It will do that, but that's the setup, is you're trying to get votes before this election.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so it's like, oh, I go here. What's going on here? I need to do this in this amount of time. So, like,
see, I only
make sure I stay on schedule.
Metaphor as, like, a fantasy political thriller type deal, so that's about all I know about it. That's also the reason I was really excited, because I'm like, okay, I can go into this not really knowing what it'll be, which is also why I think I'm starting to prefer SMT to Persona, because Persona, I always know that I'm going into like a high school setting.
Yeah,
SMT.
No, I agree so far with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
guess that SMT is all like apocalyptic shit, but it at least has I feel like those have the benefit of being different enough that it doesn't feel like you're doing the same story, if that makes sense.
And I'm a big proponent of tropes if they're done right.
Yeah.
And I prefer the SMT tropes as opposed to the Persona tropes. I know it sounds like I'm splitting hairs, but I really feel like I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I am never like bored with figuring out alignments in SMT games. Like, oh, this is their version of law. What do they want to do? What does law want to do in this situation? What does chaos want to do in this situation? Even though they inevitably end in the same way of now angels rule everything, or now the world ended because chaos or whatever. I think the details are what make it interesting, and that to me is more interesting than the high school setting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's only so many times I can read a social link about a guy trying to bang his teacher. The fact that there are at least 2 concerns me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It like and so like I prefer seeing how they adjust. Oh, we are gonna take control of everything, but this is the method of how law is taking control of it.
Right.
As opposed to just like, oh no, my club thing. I have an injury in a sports thing. I don't know if I could do my club.
Yeah.
Ryuji's story is the same as that one dude in Persona 3's. I'm just now realizing that. Holy shit.
See, you put
it
it
is
together.
Basically the same thing. How have I never put that together?
Also, it's relatively off topic, but I shared a video that somebody made of fucking American Dad in Persona. I'm like, this works too well.
Oh, yeah, you sent me that one. Oh, shit, did you send me that one?
Yeah, the one with all of the Rogers as the social links.
Yeah, it was like, holy crap, how are there so many lines that fit for this?
Yeah, right.
Oh. Sorry, I also got a text from my parents because they're on an Alaskan cruise right now, and they're giving me these beautiful pictures of Alaska, and I'm very upset. Oh.
Yeah, we just gotta rub it in a little bit,
Yeah, just gotta rub it in, like glaciers and shit. Damn, I wish I was on an Alaskan cruise. Nothing personal. Okay, alright, so your last, I say game with the biggest air quotes here, for what you are looking forward to playing in the future.
If only because I promised I would do this when we hit 1,000 followers, and so that remains at my locked in, baby, of hey, if we actually grow that much, I will absolutely play all of Kingdom Hearts. You goddamn right I will.
I was gonna be mean and put that like the we'll get to it when we get to it. Because it does have that number. You know what I mean? I feel like locked in is something that we're gonna argue.
Yep.
Like, that's what we need to play next.
Yep.
Unfortunately, because there is the number restriction. And what number is that again?
1,000. And we're at 215.
Okay, everybody, listen to that. 1,000. Tell your friends.
Yep.
If you like Kingdom Hearts. If you want to see me explain Kingdom Hearts lore without looking it up.
He will actively
that's gonna be a point reward. We've already talked about it.
Yep. That will be
I will explain. You can ask me any question, and I will explain it without looking up. Which means either I will be the greatest Kingdom Hearts encyclopedia, or I'll be the dumbest asshole. And I feel like it's going to be great either way.
Yeah, basically.
Or I'll be like, this is my interpretation of the events. You'll be like, well, actually, I just looked up the Kingdom Hearts wiki. You are wrong. And I'm like, oh, shit. But that's the fun of that category, is for me to be wrong, if I'm being honest. I don't think I will be. But on the off chance that I am, it's gonna be funny for everybody to point and laugh.
Right.
So, what aside from the number of like that's a good reward because Kingdom Hearts is a big draw.
Yeah.
What specifically draws you to Kingdom Hearts?
I used to be, and this was kind of tearing back to like how I was on the it's confusing train, even though in retrospect and getting older, I'm like, I think it's more so that just all of the games were on different consoles, which was
It was because they'll refer to something that happens in a game on like the fucking PSP, and it's like, I don't have PSP.
Well, shit, even in 2, they're talking about like Chain of Memories, and if you didn't have a Game Boy Advance and you didn't know what the fuck the Chain of Memories was, you were like, what the fuck are they talking about?
So, I actually played 2 without playing Chain of Memories. I did have a Game Boy Advance, I just never bought it because I was broke.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard Cards, and I was instantly out, even though it's actually a really good system now that I have played it.
Yeah.
But initially I was against it because I heard it was just a recap.
And it feels like that.
It's just a recap of 1. And I was like, well, I don't need to play that. I played 1. And then I played 2, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell is going on? And then my friend our friend Edward was like, oh yeah, you never played Chain of Memories? Like, that was all in Chain of Memories. I was like, no, I didn't. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know that was a thing at all.
Well, yeah, because that's like...
There's a guy with a scythe? I feel like I would have enjoyed that. And,
right.
And he's one of the best organization members.
Mm-hmm. And then...
So much happy he's going to get more screen time.
And then Chain of Memories was like the whole key point of how the fuck did Riku get back?
Which, okay, I will say, not knowing who Roxas is...
Yeah.
And because they even set up Roxas in Chain of Memories, I think works really well for the opening of 2. Because it's like this massive horror
They set up
existential horror that goes on in Kingdom Hearts 2.
right. They set up Twilight Town, not necessarily Roxas. They gave him like a hint because there's
Because it was like, this is a place that like is close to you, but you don't know it yet.
yeah,
And like Sora being in that tube at the end of Chain of Memories, and like just seeing him in 2 was like, what the fuck happened here?
yeah,
And I feel, I don't know, I just think it worked out with having no context, and that's why I will say, even though 358 takes place in between 1 and 2, do not play 358 until after you play 2.
I always am a big advocate for release order. Then
This series especially, because there are a lot of retcons,
yep.
but the retcons are easy to handle because they're done piecemeal
Mm-hmm.
if you do it in release order. Because if you did 1, 2, and then 3, it's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
And that's because they had a whole bunch of side games to retcon and figure out what the plot of 3 was going to be.
Well, you know, you just
Which is a complaint in itself. I'm not denying that.
yeah.
But as you're playing it in release order, it's not bad. Because it's like, oh, okay, that's what was going on. That's cool. And then you play the next game, you're like, oh, I remember that scene. That's what was going on. Oh. And then, you know, if you just missed one of those, which again was on a million different consoles, then they're all expecting you to know that?
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, they didn't fucking say that shit in Kingdom Hearts 1. That was not what the fuck I remember.
Right. So you get to a point where you're just... Because I think in 1, when the first game came out, there's like, oh, there's only one Keyblade Master. And that's very quickly proven false.
Yeah, that was easily a case of they had no plan.
Yeah.
They have said they made Kingdom Hearts 1 in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that is when they started retconning. So, yeah, that's part of it.
Yep, yep.
All right. Do you want to move anything up or down?
I'm glad I got to move.
Or are you
because
satisfied with this?
I think I'm pretty locked into this now, just because again, with Locked Outside, it's funny how Look Outside was my like, oh, this is my honorable mention, and I'm like, and it's going right up here, kind of hype actually.
Okay, so just to recap, starting at the bottom.
Yep.
We have going to the bottom. Let me see. I can't see.
Got Digimon.
Digimon, Cyber Sleuths, great. Digimon SPT.
Yep.
Tales of Destiny Director's Cut, and that's gonna be pending when we feel like messing with emulators.
Right.
If I'm being honest.
That's basically what keeps it so
Signalis?
low.
Spooky horror. I heard you have to put through Signalis twice, so that's definitely we'll get to it when we get to it.
That's definitely also a thing that I heard, and also kind of was like, yeah, I'll do it when I feel like I'm not in the mood for a long game, but not in the mood for a short game either.
Then we have the Kingdom Hearts franchise,
which
and that is pending 1,000 followers, which
Why it's in the we'll get to it when we get to it category.
I am optimistic we'll get there, but when
Yeah, you know. It's like
Jack and Dexter, that's also pending when we feel like dealing with emulators, because there's not a good version on modern console, except for like the PS5.
yeah.
Wait a minute, you do have a PS5.
I do have a PS5.
Okay, all right, never mind. We'll still put that in interested. We'll see if we'll leave it there.
Okay.
But that's something we're gonna have to test with capturing and sharing and all that.
Gotcha.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, okay, that's great.
Yep.
No More Heroes 3. Yeah, I mean, great action game. I do love me some good action games.
Right.
Not excited to having to watch him jack off for like 30 hours straight. That's a real thing.
I love how you just say that with no context, and I'm like, you're not wrong, but
I mean, isn't that how he has to charge his magical glowing wand?
his lightsaber that's not a lightsaber for copyright reasons.
Yeah. And then we have the Crossbell duology, which, to be clear, is Trails from Zero to Trails from Azure. That's kind of a package deal.
Yep.
But we are working through Trails in the Sky second chapter currently, and because I believe in not playing the same series back to back, it might be a little bit till we get to that. Alan Wake 2 for when we want to have existential horror about being an artist. Don't Look Outside. Have never heard of it before, but I am now hyped.
Honestly, just reading that description and realizing, oh, this is a turn-based strategy horror game.
Dude, that has me sold.
Yeah.
This is not on the list because I just found out about it. They have a turn-based Resident Evil clone you can buy. It's called Raging Bites. And it's like, spelled Bites is spelled like B-I-T bits. It's like B-I-T-its, like Bites.
Nice.
No Sleep for Kaname Dante. We are hyped, but that is not out yet. So that's gonna be pending when it comes out.
That's basically like I'm hype and I might do it on launch, but it's not coming out until like June. So
damn, that's a little bit of a wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
and
So then next up we got and then Locked In, baby. This is
Yeah.
stuff we gotta be put. One of us will fight for every time we come to a new game.
basically, yeah.
Shadow Hearts, Silent Hill 2, and Metaphor.
Basically, yeah.
Out of all of those, I definitely think Metaphor is probably going to be the most back burner out of those three because it's the
Probably,
longest.
yes.
Because Shadow Hearts is only like 20 hours, which for JRPG terms is nothing.
Right.
And then Silent Hill 2 Remake, I beat in like 15. Not the worst. Alright, so I feel satisfied with that tier list of games we're looking forward to play. You go ahead and set for the next thing. I'm going to go... Again, man, this dog is killing me today. I'm going to go deal with him.
Do that.
You set up for our next bit.
Okay. What's? Oh no, I've got to figure out what the next bit is because I didn't specify. But I'm assuming he means the next tier list, which we're gonna be doing kind of on the fly. So.
I'm in blind. So yeah, let's go.
Yep. It's at the top of the hour because that would be really good to be like. Let me make sure we're still here. Oop, oop, oop. Drop frames. Okay, now you're back. You're back. You're back. You're good. You're golden. Sweet. When does the next ad start? That's what I wanted to know. Like when the next... Because it should be happening when the timer hits 2 hours, so within the next couple minutes, we'll have another ad break, which is fine. But also, I wasn't talking too much because I'm not going to lie. I am also doing something in the background, and I am hopefully going to be able to announce it in just a minute here. Which I feel really bad, but I'm like, I should make a VOD channel for all of the streams, and you know what? I'm going to make an email for it. Yep. Yep. Okay, got the chat open so I can still see. All right, cool. Now, I'm gonna move us over to the Vox tier list. Gonna make an empty slate. And our next thing is rating the games we played. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, rating the games that you have streamed. This is not like games that I have streamed with you. This is literally everything we've done. Everything has been on the channel. If that makes sense.
Yep. I'm trying to, because I'm like, there are so many games that I just never finished. So I was like, dropped. And I'm like, that's going to be like half the fucking stream list if I call it that.
Oh my god, dude, come on.
Yeah. Also, while you were gone, I made a VOD channel and a business email. So there we go.
Finally.
Finally.
Thank God. Even with my infamous attempted failed podcast, that's a whole story I can't get into.
Yeah.
Before we even pitched the podcast, we had official work emails and all that set up. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think we'd get this far, is my response.
Which, short version, I had a failed podcast, and by that I mean we had like 5 pilot episodes that didn't get picked up. Can't say why.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so, preferably ideally, we throw it in the order that you streamed it. So this was the first game we streamed. How do I rank it? This is the second game I streamed. How do I rank it? And so on and so on.
Yeah.
So, what was the first game you streamed?
It might have been Omori, and I did actually finish Omori.
Wow, that's a hell of a fucking first stream.
Right?
Damn, that escalated so quickly.
Yes, it
It's
did.
like, I don't know, like Mario or some shit.
Well, it was either Omori or A Hat in Time, and it might have been A Hat in Time first.
Okay. So, what is the maid? It says maid.
Oh, I was gonna be like, I don't know, got me emotional, got me to cry.
That would still be okay. Well, like I was just throwing like S tier up there to be like the easiest one,
Yeah, keep it like
and then we can go into like D is unofficially did not finish,
unofficially, kinda.
or damn that sucked. C is could have been better. B is it was better. No wait, B is we'll come back to that. A is awesome. S is super amazing, stylish, whatever the fuck they say in Devil May Cry. The super sexy styling. Alright, so down at the bottom,
I'm grabbing.
you can like just look at
I'm grabbing up.
you have to, I've never done this before. You have to grab them all at once, or do you have to grab them like individually?
I mean, there might be a way to grab more than one at a time, but I was like, I don't know. I'm grabbing them one at a time because I'm slow.
Damn. Alright, so I mean, we've been at this what, 3 years now? Or is 3 years the anniversary?
3 years of the anniversary, and it's funny because I didn't really think I was doing much of anything, and I probably could be further along in like a streaming career had I properly dedicated time and like known what I was doing. It's funny.
Well, there's a trial period to everything.
Yeah.
So, and this is with any kind of creative endeavor. The first thing you do, the first thing you try to do, is gonna suck. You just have to accept that.
Yep.
And so there's a big idea of you never do your dream project first.
Oh yeah, this was always
Like
it very clearly started as like this is just a hobby because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Because I remember you and I think our friend Edward started streaming at about the same time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why is everybody streaming? It's like, okay.
I mean,
And ironically, now here I am.
Yep.
You know, when I get my streaming career off the ground, and by that I mean when I feel, not lazy and want to mess with OBS. It's a big hurdle, okay?
Honestly, I don't blame you. OBS is kind of a bitch and a half, but here, I'm going to start with the Hat in Time. I am going to put that in A tier, just because I actually very much enjoyed my time.
I was going to put that in A tier as well, because I played that game twice.
I think it
it's been
does
spectacular both times.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised that Gears for Breakfast didn't make a second game, or not even like a sequel. Like, no,
It kills me that there is no second game. If I'm being honest with you,
Like-
I think about that all the time.
like they're still around too. Is what's crazy. It's not like they went defunct or anything. They still exist and they still make expansions for Hat in Time. But like,
Mhm.
you'd think by now they'd been like, okay, here's our next project. Which is not me dissing on them, but don't mistake me. It's just
we're not dissing on them. We're just surprised because whatever their next project they did, I would probably buy day one. That's how much I loved ads. And I very rarely buy things day one.
yeah, no kidding. It's like it's surprising how much I'm like, damn, they kind of nailed it out of the park with this, and it was like their first endeavor.
And they said that one of their big inspirations was Mario Sunshine.
And I can
I
see
am
that.
I am not a big Mario fan, if I'm being honest.
And Mario Sunshine
But-
is fun because it's like well liked, but everybody agrees it's really rough and glitchy.
Yeah, I noticed that because literally earlier this week I started Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
And by that I played like the first the tutorial level and like the first real zone. And the whole time I was thinking this is not as good as a Hat in Time.
No, absolutely not. Like A Hat in Time is far more polished. It's had a lot more
And
care.
I feel like an asshole for saying that. But I'm like, it's not as good as a Hat in Time. And like I played it a couple days ago and I have not gone back to it. I probably will at some point once I get in like a better mindset and have to get like, okay, this is older, it's not gonna be as good. You're gonna have to let that go. But yeah, no, I thought Hat in Time was spectacular. I think there should have been more parade levels. They only have like 2 of those, which is
Oh.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I actually. It's funny. The parade levels were kind of my least favorite, but they were still.
Oh, those were my favorite.
Okay.
Like just trying to like plan out how to get
How
around.
to avoid those
Loved it.
assholes.
Loved it. All right, so your next one up is Omori. Now
Yeah.
I have not played Omori, but I do know the big plot twist.
It's fun. I appreciate that there's like multiple routes. I've never had a game like where I felt so satisfied with the first route that I'm like, I really don't want to do the dream alternatives, so I didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Undertale situation where like the best ending is so good that it's like I don't really want to do the other ones.
I think I'm going.
I don't know.
I'm going to stick with A tier, if only because the only reason I'm not going quite S tier is while I do think narratively it's very compelling, there are a little hangups I have with the story where I can't go into it because it's spoilers, but it's the more you think about it, the more you're like, what are you doing?
What? Why?
Yeah.
And I heard about the plot twist mostly because I watched the Nitro Red video. I fucking love Nitro
Yeah,
Red.
sure, that's
That
good.
is one of my favorite YouTube channels. And that's actually how I found out about Hat in Time too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched that video and then you're like, bro, have you ever played this Hat in Time? I was like, funny enough, I just watched a YouTube video about it. So I watched it and I was like, this is really good. And then this is one I was like, this one me and my sister need to play. Because this is like a horror JRPG and again, that's all we play. And so it's been eternally on my back burner because there's always another game coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I personally want to push it up higher. It's just I gotta get to it. So I guess I can't really argue your placement on A tier. And then what's the next one up? Persona 4 Golden?
That will be next. I was just grabbing what I remember from my
Okay.
memory because I was also looking at Fear of the Spotlight's box art. Uh-oh, I think
Gotcha.
I think the song ran out. Let me switch the music up real quick.
Mhm.
The,
So, man, what's another good music kind of playlist we can put on?
Zelda beats are okay.
I'm not as familiar with the Zelda soundtrack, so I can't be like, oh, yes, that's the...
I'm just trying to keep it relatively chill, like not.
Yeah,
sleepy
that's
vibes,
perfect.
but-
For that's kind of because we're doing more of a relaxed. We're just kind of talking about things.
Mhm.
All right. So the next game we're gonna vote on, or we're gonna be arguing, is gonna be Persona 4, right?
Yep. And it's funny
Okay.
because as much as I think it does not help that I already know the big plot twist of Persona 4, and I think that I feel bad for anybody that goes into Golden already kind of knowing the plot because it's very obvious. Not.
I would put it at B tier.
I was actually gonna go C because I.
Ooh. Okay, what's your reasoning? What's your logic? Walk me through it.
Look, I really enjoy the gameplay of 4 Golden, but I think in a world that has both 5 and 3 reload, I'm starting to see the rough edges a lot more. And
well, 4 remake is about to be coming out. They just copyrighted a 4 remake, so it's gonna happen.
I kind of figured, which is one of the reasons I also dropped it. Of like, I kind of saw the writing on the wall of like, so y'all are gonna basically, you know,
just remake the whole. Yeah, you know, let's put. Yeah, I think C tier is. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I do think Persona 4 has the weakest story of the Persona games.
It's weird how I feel like it has the strongest cast, but like the weakest narrative.
I don't agree with that either.
Really?
I think 3 has a stronger cast.
Ah, okay. Maybe.
And we're gonna get into it again because I know you have Persona 3 Reload.
I do have Reload, yeah.
So we'll wait till
to discuss cast.
We get the Persona 3 Reload to come into it, and then we'll do a full comparison.
Maybe it's just because I do sort of enjoy the like how people compare 4's cast to like a Scooby-Doo scenario.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I see what they're getting at, but I think it's a little too different than a Scooby-Doo.
It's a little too not quite the same. Also, I'm putting Persona 3 Reload's art in there. We're not doing it next. I'm just putting art I remember.
Yeah, as you remember it comes up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel solid with C for Persona 4 Golden.
And it's just that, like, as much as I enjoy the murder mystery of it all, I don't really enjoy the ending. The secret boss, I think, is really cool. I'm like, that's a cool reveal.
To me, it falls into the trap, and Persona 5 does as well, and most JRPGs do it, if I'm being honest with you.
Of, like, there needs to be a
god. It builds up to there being a bad guy, you fight the bad guy, and then it's like, just kidding, kill God.
Yeah.
And I think, like, 5 does it alright. I have some issues with 5's story, but we're not going to get into it, but it does it alright. Persona 3 does it the best of setting up the god you have to fight by the end of it.
Yeah.
With Nyx. But I think
it helps
the reveal of the true culprit is fine, but it's just like after you beat the culprit or the original killer, and then it's just like now fight a giant eyeball. It's like, oh, but I had a good thing with the killer. I feel satisfied.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this shit?
It's like,
the fuck is this?
It's like we were very clearly ripping off Diamond is Unbreakable. We might as well just stick to that because it works.
Yeah, which actually is funny enough when I watched Diamond is Unbreakable and it ends with them beating the killer. I'm like, nice, satisfying ending.
Yeah.
It's like Persona 4 was such a low stakes game, and I say that because it's very local based.
It's all in Enola,
and then also at the end it's like, oh, now the world's ending. It's like, whoa, that's a fucking jump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I feel satisfied with C. So what's the next game we're gonna throw up there for arguing placement?
Off the top of my head, I am remembering... Oh. See, I know you're not gonna enjoy this, but we did, Scarlet and Violet Pokemon.
D tier.
I love how you immediately were like...
D tier.
You know, it's funny, as somebody that even likes Pokemon, and I like a lot of the ideas in Scarlet and Violet, I think I'm also gonna have to go D tier, if only because the gameplay the game kind of ran like ass.
Wait, I have the perfect sound cue for this. Wait.
You're gonna play Vindication, aren't you?
Yes.
Vindication!
Oh, this is beautiful. So good.
Vindication!
D tier, baby. D tier.
I would love.
Okay, yeah. So continue explaining.
Vindication.
Okay. I'm like Pokemon.
Okay.
I was looking for the box art because all of the files were like conveniently I couldn't put it on the goddamn list where it's like it's real cute that you think you're escaping getting a D tier. But yeah, no, it's very unfortunate that like what should be a very cool open world setting kind of ran like ass. Its frame rate would drop constantly. there are a lot of good ideas of, hey, the Pokemon are out in the open instead of, like, the random encounters. I'm not the biggest random encounter fan.
Not that my nephew watches these streams, because I'd be very concerned if he did.
Honestly, that'd be very concerning, yeah.
He is obsessed with Pokemon. I got him hooked on the Digimon Cyber Sleuth games, and he's very devastated that the new Digimon Story Time Stranger that comes out this year is not going to be on Switch.
Damn.
It might be on Switch 2 now, but it's not on. It's currently on PlayStation and PC. So he's super bummed about that, but he loves Pokemon. To the point when he's like, I've completed the Pokédex. I'm like, cool, so you're done with it. He's like, nah, I gotta go shiny hunting. I'm like, why? And he's like, oh, they have slightly better stats. I'm like, what do you mean by slightly better? He's like, oh, like 5 or 10 points. I'm like, then what's the point?
It's like, if I want to...
And I feel like... and I feel like Pokemon structure is so worn to the ground that it's like, been there, done that. Like, I don't... Sure, the new Pokemons are cool, but like, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's why at least like the Legends games, I am interested in.
Sure.
Like Legends Arceus and the Legends... V something or other?
Yeah.
I want to say Zexal, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. I know the one you mean, yeah. The one where...
It's a different structure, and that has me excited. Oh, I'm gonna have a different experience, because a lot of like the traditional Pokemon games, for me it feels very been there, done that. I played Pokemon Yellow and I played Diamond, and I feel satisfied with those two. And it's like, yeah, I've done it.
I am disappointed that they don't experiment like that frequently, because I really like Colosseum, where it was the whole...
I've heard Colosseum was really good. I've heard it's good.
Because the whole idea of you being like, hey, you were basically on Team Rocket stealing people's Pokemon, and then one day you decided to stop doing that.
I'm good. I'll stop doing that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do that.
Also, I just realized that I'm on the wrong tier list on the capture, so give me a second. Oh
my god, have we not been capturing this whole time?
No, it's just the stream.
No, I see it.
No,
I see it. I see it on
my stream manager froze. That's what it is. I was like, oh yes.
Oh no. Technical difficulties. Why?
No, it's fine.
We're good.
There we go. Cool. I was like, why does my stream manager look like... Oh, that's why.
Okay. So I feel pretty satisfied with our Pokemon debate.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll come back around eventually.
At some point we will be.
It always does. I think it's funny, we have 4 games up there, but we have nothing on S tier. And nothing on B tier.
Surprisingly, no. Oh, obviously, I'm going through my memory of what we played. I know we did 2 first, but I'm remembering The Room.
As we all remember The Room.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Walter.
I am putting 4 in S rank, actually.
S tier. I was actually, if you put it anything less than S tier, I was going to yell at you. So, Silent Hill 4 is my favorite Silent Hill. It is not the best Silent Hill. There are two differences. I think the best is Silent Hill 2, the original still.
Yeah.
I think the remake does a really good job with it. I still think the original 2 is better.
I was gonna ask, do you think 2 is still...
No, the original I think is still better overall. Because there are some sections that do go on a little too long in the remake. And that's more of a structural issue of like it being a shooter. Because you inherently get through areas faster as a shooter than you do as the classic horror game.
Yeah.
When you can just headshot enemies because you're that good. It kind of needs to be a little bit longer. But the remixes they do to the levels are good. There's just some of them that go on a little too long. Speaking specifically about the Labyrinth. Ooh. It goes on a little long. Okay, so Silent Hill 2, I'd also put it S tier.
I will. I'm also grabbing...
So S tier is like Silent Hill now?
Basically, S stands for Silent Hill, I guess, is what the idea is.
Now, here's your real hell to die on. Did you like 4 or 2 better?
You know, it's funny. I still think 2 probably has the better narrative, but I felt like if you were to go back in time and be like, hey, we're gonna make a remake, I think I would have wanted a remake of 4 now.
I've heard rumors that they're remaking 3,
Yeah.
which is great. I think 3 could use a remake, 100%, and we'll definitely play the original before the 3 remake comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely want to remake a 4 because I feel like in the newer engine you could do a lot more with like the.
Well, just with the room fucking with you a lot easier.
What I'm arguing is I want Alan Wake 2, but Silent Hill 4. Of like with how it fucks with you, how it like messes with your perception, all that. Which I'm realizing now how important Alan Wake 2 is to me. Great fucking game. But no, Silent Hill 4 I think is up there. Easily one of the best horror games I've ever played. Okay. I feel good with both of those being in S tier. What's the next game you got?
So I was doing Stardew Valley with people for a while, which I know you're not a big fan of farm sims, so this is purely going to be my reaction of, I think Stardew does really great, as far as, like, you have to do time management, because you only have so much time in a day, and you do, it's kind of Persona's calendar system, not to bring that up too much, but...
My issue with Stardew Valley is it's like, with all those farming games, once I put it down, I feel no desire to go back to it.
That's
like, it can be fun in the moment. Like, if we played together, it'd be like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. Let's make our farm.
Yeah.
But the second we took a break, and, like, we were on a break for, like, a day or two, I would be done.
You'd be like, yeah.
I'd be like, okay, I'm satisfied.
And that's completely understandable.
And that's not even complaining about the quality, because I think, from what I've heard and what I've seen, Stardew Valley is the best quality. And then, also to reiterate, anybody who comes in later and doesn't know what we're doing, we are ranking every game streamed on the channel.
Yep. Or at least every game that I can remember.
This is our complete biased hater energy.
Yep.
Even though we've actually been surprisingly positive.
You know, I didn't play too much that I was like, God, I need to drop this immediately because it sucks. Which I've been...
Oh, don't worry, it's coming.
Oh yeah, Fairy Fencer F. I know.
I had to fight so hard not to put that on my 5 anticipated. I just beat my second run, so I'm good to go whenever. I can feel you rolling your eyes.
Very much so, yeah.
Alright. So the next game we're gonna throw up there, what you got?
Well, I was going to pull up Fear the Spotlight, but I'm having trouble finding art for it, so I guess we'll do Valheim next, which I don't enjoy as much as Stardew, but it's like Viking-based farming sim.
Survival. I know you got really into Valheim for a while, and then they reset that server.
It did, and I really need to go back.
Kills your motivation.
I feel bad because I have Brotherfjord was here earlier. He was in that server along with Nori, and I haven't talked to Nori. Not because I'm mad or anything. I've been busy, and I kind of drifted apart from like talking with people in Discord.
It happens.
And yeah, and I feel bad just because there's like a whole group of people where I'm like, I'm not pissed or anything. Sorry for disappearing on you. I just got real busy doing life shit.
No, and unfortunately, that's the realistic things of being an adult.
Yep.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? So you're saying B? Because I mean, I'm not big on the survival game, so I personally would put it lower.
I'm gonna go with
since I haven't played Valorant.
It's a solid. Yeah, Valheim is very solid.
Oh, Valheim! I was saying Valorant.
Valorant's the shooter game.
See, that's my point exactly. I don't play these survival games. I just hate the idea of like losing progress.
Yeah.
Like
not a big Minecraft.
And it's like a lot of the and like the create your own fun, and this is 100% a skill issue. I can't create my own fun. Like I literally am like, I don't know what to do.
Like I need structure. Please give me something. A goal.
I did not like Legos as a kid. It's like what the fuck do I build? I was like, I don't know, I made like a wall, which is literally just like stacking the pieces together. Yeah. It's like, alright, so Valheim, good survival game. What you got next?
Well, if I could please get like just any art thing, like a JPEG for Fear the Spotlight, please. I actually do want to praise you because that was a good game.
Well, I mean, you found it yet? I'm assuming not.
I mean, I found... Is this key art?
I don't know, is it? I don't know.
please.
They don't have like a picture with like the girl and like the glasses.
Yeah,
and,
they
like,
do, but
the-
they're
Yeah.
like not letting me right click and download, which is very frustrating.
That is frustrating. Well, I don't know. I guess while we're struggling, I think I have to put Fearless Spotlight at A tier
I was gonna say A tier as well.
because I really enjoy it. I think it's great, but do I think it's S tier, which is what I put as like a perfect game?
Right. Or like for me, S tier needs to be something that at least made me like emotional.
Okay.
Which is not
That's
to say
fair.
that A
That's
tier
fair.
doesn't do that. It's just, you know. Okay. Seriously, just give me like a fucking.
Something.
Let me work with you, Jesus.
I want to do the tier list. Okay, so like with Fear the Spotlight, I think what holds it back is I think it could have been like a little bit deeper mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not necessarily what they were going for, but I feel like it could have been. Just like a little bit of combat, and actually, and this might be a petty ass complaint, I think it should have been a little bit longer.
Just a bit, right? Like it doesn't feel very, and that's
Especially that second campaign.
like, and that's not a.
I
I know it's not a traditional diss to be like, oh hey, your game was too short. Like it's all.
damn, I just wanted to play more of it.
Yeah, right.
I just feel like, especially with that second campaign, and I know that was added in after, so that was essentially like a free edition for us. Because originally, when it came, if I'm understanding correctly, when it originally came out, it was just the first campaign, and so the second campaign was added later.
Oh my
So for
God.
us, it was all included. You might just like have to.
And there we go,
Pass on it.
finally.
I was like, this is getting ridiculous.
Yes, thank you. Anyway, also it was Blumhouse, right? They made a game studio.
Yeah, that one threw me off too. I was like, I'm not complaining because Blumhouse is quality stuff, but like, all right, we're getting into games now. Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
right?
go.
Which makes me wondering if they're gonna come out with something else pretty real. Really
I want like another game in the style of Fear the Spotlight, but I don't want a sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because I feel like it
'Cause-
had a pretty definitive ending.
And what I love about it is that, and this is like a weird trope that I like. I like stories about kids growing up. Weirdly, I'm not a big Goonies fan. Mostly because half of that movie is not great, but the chunk half.
Yeah.
And I love those stories. That's why I'm a big fan of like it, specifically the first half. And it's something about these stories of these kids going through situations where they kind of have to grow up. I don't know. It's like a weird subgenre, and I think Fear the Spotlight hits that. It's these kids that were playing with something got way in over their heads, and you really feel the development as they go on through their journey.
Yeah.
So like that's a weird. Again, I got like really good like the first half of It vibes, which I don't know how much you know about It.
I mean, I've seen the movie.
Okay, yeah, but like just that vibe of like these kids like finding like something to fight for with it, with like being friends with each other, and in this one it's each other on that one.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. It hit like a very specific niche that I like, and but again, because of some minor gameplay things, like again, it could have been a little bit deeper. You could have had a little bit of combat in there. I think that would have helped. Visuals 10 out of 10 though. It nailed that crunchy PS1 look.
It really did.
Okay.
Yes, actually, that the visuals alone, I think I have to celebrate.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh, that kind of has to be up there in A tier just for those visuals, because they nailed that such distinct look. All right. So what's the next game you got?
So I think the next game I just remembered was Bayonetta 3, which I really enjoy the gameplay of, but I'm realizing I never finished, and it's not because I hated the game or anything. I realized I didn't know what I was doing half the time, and I was just like, it's city.
I have only played Bayonetta 1. It's It was great. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's as good as like a Devil May Cry. Even though it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So where would you throw Bayonetta 3 on there?
I think I'm gonna go B tier.
Wow, for something you didn't finish.
Yeah. And I think I'm having to do that purely because I didn't finish. Like narrative wise, I think I saw where it was going, and I was like, I don't know about this. And it's funny because that one apparently has a bit of a split in the fan base too. Of like, yeah, gameplay's fun,
I've heard.
but narrative.
I heard mostly a lot of people don't like Viola. That's like the main thing.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, I think I feel pretty satisfied with that one.
I feel pretty satisfied.
I see you through Lost Dimension down there.
Yes, because I remembered that we did finish Lost Dimension, which I.
And then real fast, we got a chat from Lightning Hound. We might have missed that one.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, how's it going?
Hi there.
Thanks for coming
Thank
out.
you for joining.
Apologize if we're getting to this late. We got really into debating this. Yeah, we are ranking every game streamed on this channel. And this is our personal, completely biased opinion.
Yes.
And half of these, I haven't even played. So
I'm already judging them hard.
But Lost Dimension we're there for, so.
Look, Lost Dimension was my recommendation. And as the guy who's an advocate for this game, C tier.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
That is surprising coming from you. I'm a little relieved.
Were you gonna say C tier?
I'm a little relieved because I had the same thought, but I was also like, man, it was really interesting. It had a lot going for it, but I was like, man, I don't really want to play it again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Lightning saying Doki Doki is gonna be S plus tier. Have you played Doki Doki?
I don't think I ever did do Doki Doki. Unfortunately, by the time I got to do
it would actually be S tier.
Yeah. Unfortunately, by the time I got to Doki Doki, or I started streaming Doki Doki, everybody knew what the fuck it was about. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the nature of the beast. But with Lost Dimension, again, I'm the one who pitched this game. This is exactly what I mean when I say I like playing smaller games that have cool ideas.
Yeah.
Great idea, not the best execution.
No, yeah, it was...
Like, the gameplay is... Again, it's cool. Like, it's a good Valkyria Chronicles clone. And I like how you can mix and match powers based on who you vote off. So, like, every run you have different sets of abilities. And which characters you can have who betray you every round. That's why I wanted to play it, because every playthrough is different, and that's what makes it great. Because, except for Marco, for some reason that little kid always betrays us. Hate that kid. Mm-hmm. Fuck that kid. But the idea of like, I don't know who I'm gonna have. Oh no, this guy died. Wait a minute, but if I give his ability to that guy, I now have like this cool move I've never used before. Like, that's such a cool idea. I just wish it was executed better. And unfortunately, because of that, the main cast is pretty weak. Because anybody can be killed off at any time. They can't be the deepest character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wish I could put it higher, but it's the nature of what I play. Man, I really want to, like, a real sequel to Lost Dimension. It won't happen, but I really want one.
I love it. I mean, it was a very niche game, which I know, you know, numbers shouldn't be the primary focus of streaming, but it was one of those things
we actually did really well. It, like, not great overall, but relatively.
It was one of those things where we looked at it and we were like, yeah, nobody's going to come to this, but we're going to do it anyway because we want to.
But, like, we did it because we wanted to, and this was 100% we don't care about viewership.
Yep.
But actually, I think we had a really good turnout.
Honestly,
we had a lot of good averages
by
on
people
it.
who were coming. I won't lie, it was a lot
also, we were the #1 Lost Dimension streamer last year.
We were.
Granted, there were 3 of us.
Yeah, I was gonna say there weren't a lot of us though.
It still counts, baby. Let's go.
Winning by default still counts as winning.
Yeah. All right, now I look down there and I see Trails in the Sky, Earthbound.
Yep, I'm going through the list of like VODs I have to be like, what do I not remember putting in?
Yeah. You still need Nocturne. You still need Costume Quest. You still need Evil Within.
Thank you, actually.
But I guess next one up would be I guess Trails in the Sky.
Yeah, from this list that we have currently to pull from.
What? I want to hear your take on where you put Trails in the Sky. First chapter.
First chapter. I feel comfortable putting it at a solid. I'm gonna put it high up on the B tier. Not quite A, but
that's kind of my opinion too. Is it's solid B.
Yeah, not quite
And
A.
again, I'm also the one who pitched this game.
Yeah,
and this was the first game I sat in on stream. So like,
I feel
like we should put that up on S tier, but no, it's B tier.
I think it is quite bogged down by like how much of it is set up, and that's not necessarily the fault of the game. It's just how much is necessary to make it be set up.
I think it has really good payoffs, but it does take a while to get going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when I played it, I was not really sold until chapter 2, which is the orphanage arc. So like, I loved like Shara, I loved Olivier.
Oh yeah, I love the characters.
I thought they were great characters, but like the main plot, I was like, okay, what are we like? What are we doing aside from just wandering?
And I think
yeah.
I don't know if I would have finished doing Trails had I not had you as a co-host. If I'm being real.
Really?
I think.
Wow. Oh man.
Because I don't think I was feeling it until we got to the orphanage, the same part you did. It's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah. Well, because I really like once I really like was able to accept the vibe, like this is gonna be a low key chill.
Yeah.
And I think then I really got to enjoy the low key chillness, and I think the dealing with the orphanage and the school. Funny enough, we just complained about Persona being in school.
Yeah.
But it worked for it being in school because these are characters who have never been to school.
Yeah.
And so them living like a week of like a normal life.
You're like, oh.
Was very interesting to see.
Yeah, because they basically grew out in the backwoods, so they're like, oh, wait, this is what you're supposed to do?
Mm-hmm. And I actually enjoyed it, and I wasn't as bored on the earlier parts now that I know where it's going.
I think
and kind of seeing a lot of the setup.
You being there, explaining that, like, this is going to be a lot more low-key than you're expecting, helped me to, like, retemper myself, because I was... The entire time, I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the inciting incident.
And, like, the main plot doesn't... Like, it's set up, but it doesn't fully kick off until right before the final chapter of that game. And, like, it's... I was like, oh, and he's the main bad guy. You're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
He's the main bad guy? Okay. I was like, yeah, you know, it's a low-key reveal for what is overall a low-stakes adventure.
For what it's worth, second chapter, I'm kind of in high A tier right now.
A high A tier, easily high A tier. Once we get to the end, arguably S tier. But that's how all the even number games in that franchise work. Because you do all of the setup, you know exactly who these characters are, you know exactly their motivation, and so it just goes. And so, second chapter, yeah, easily high A tier. We're not going to rank it because we haven't finished it yet. I think it's kind of not fair.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay, so we're on the same page, because I thought for sure you'd be like, oh, you're doing B tier? Wow, I thought you'd put that higher.
Well, I was just answering honestly for me. You having the full narrative, I figured maybe you'd want to put it a little higher, but like for me, I'm like,
no,
a solid B plus basically for me.
And of the setup games, is what I call them, the weakest is Cold Steel 1, I think, and the best is Trails from Zero for like the setup game. And then Sky sits like right in the middle of like, it's good, it's a great setup game, but like, I couldn't say anything other than good.
Gotcha.
I think would be a little much. What's the next one you want to talk about?
Let's do Nocturne. Nocturne, despite my issues with the technical difficulties at first, because we had to restart.
Where's Dante? Where's Matador?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be here.
Yep.
Like, he's supposed to play. Oh, fuck, we played the wrong version.
Yep.
Okay, replay it.
Yep. Ignoring that, I think I'm gonna go solid A tier of how much I like it.
I want to put it as tier. I really do, but I do feel like like there's other better SMT games
Yeah.
than Nocturne.
I will give it an A+ for you.
A plus. That works for me. That works for me. And I prefer. I think Nocturne has the best alignment system
Yeah,
out of all the SMT games.
I do.
But I think the overall plot and other ones are better.
If nothing else, I've never played another SMT, so I can't speak to it. I will say they at least seem very well defined. Like, I was never shocked that at who was in what camp. Of like, this is the law camp, this is chaos camp, this is order. Yeah.
Well, I think they do the best in Nocturne of making every alignment understandable.
Yeah,
I see how you got to this conclusion. I see why there'd be value in that. I just don't agree.
right.
There's other games, unfortunately, where it does kind of just end with, and then Angels took over everything. So, like, to me, the best alignments are like Devil Survivor and Nocturne,
Gotcha.
because they're not just straight like.
It is
the world
interesting
ended.
how Devil Survivor has like a lot more in common with the mainline SMT than the Persona does.
No, it's not surprising at all.
I
I mean, I don't think it is,
Or
because it's like.
I guess I'm more surprised that Devil Survivor is like even just a spin-off, given how
Oh.
similar it is.
That's true, but once we start getting into what counts as a spin-off and what doesn't count, we'll be here for hours.
Yeah.
We're not gonna.
That's fair.
I call it's either an SMT game or it's a Persona game. Hey, that's a tonality thing.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we got a lot in the A tier. I figured we'd have at least. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Whew. I figured we'd have one more in S tier by this point, but I feel pretty satisfied with what we have so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also surprised we don't have a lot in D tier.
I have managed to avoid playing things that I thought were bad, thankfully, by some miracle.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so what's the next one you want to talk about?
Three Love, Fleet Spotlight, Earthbound. What am I forgetting? Sorry, I'm looking at my like VOD collection of like what category am I?
Oh
missing?
yeah. What have we missed? What have we missed? Yeah, that's a big question.
Yeah. I know you.
I know. Do we have Costume Quest on there? Yeah.
I haven't downloaded that box art yet. Okay, that's what I was forgetting. That and one more I was forgetting. But we can talk about. You know what? Let's do. Oh, I accidentally put Fear the Spotlight choice. Whatever. We'll do Evil Within next.
All right. I'm kind of torn. Somewhere between A and B tier for Evil Within. And this is coming from the biggest Evil Within fan I know.
I think it helps that you have the context that I think you've told me the second game's better.
Oh, the second game is S tier. The second
Yeah.
game is S tier, undoubtedly. I will die on that hill. It's on our list eventually. But that's also one that I think your computer will probably run it.
B tier is I think probably my pick for Evil Within, not because I disliked it much of it, but also just because I appreciate the confusing narrative. There was just a lot going on at once where I was like, what are we doing?
It's a lot that it's kind of better in retrospect as you think about it, as opposed to when you're actually playing it.
Yes.
Of like, oh, okay, I see how they set up here. Oh, I kind of see what they did here.
Like
And I do
appreciate.
I do
it.
think some of the sections go on too long.
Okay, that was gonna be my other point of like some things I feel like, hey, can you maybe cut this gameplay time down just like an hour?
Yeah, like the city segment towards the end, I'm not big on. And like having a whole segment that I'm like, kind of does bring it down. I mean, I like it for what it is, and it hits that like classic Resident Evil vibes, which is what it was going for. The main thing that is my biggest complaint about 2, they take out the match drop mechanic, and the match drop mechanic is one of my favorite mechanics in any horror game. So it's super unfortunate that that's not in the sequel. And 100% half the reason I was like play Evil Within was for the match drop. Which, for those of you that don't know what the match drop mechanic is when you down a zombie, whatever they're actually called, they're zombies. Let's be real.
Yeah.
When you down a zombie, if you don't get a headshot where their head explodes, they will get back up. And so the way you stop that is you drop a match onto the body and you burn the body. So it sounds overwhelming, but it's really cool. It's because that there are like other bodies. You can maybe like get multiple people with fire. You find like a torch, and a torch is a free kill. An axe is a free kill as well. But it's adds another layer to the survivalingness. It's like, okay, I just downed this guy. I'm not quite sure if that counted as a perfect headshot or not. And let me drop it to be safe. Or it could be like, no, I think I got that. And then you forget about it, and that dude gets back up and runs at you. And so there's an extra layer of strategy to it. Along with we're doing the best hits of Resident Evil 4. Which is that also the other thing that kind of holds me back is it is kind of a greatest hits of Resident Evil 4.
Just a bit, yeah.
And 2 gets out of that very quickly and has its own vibe. Can I say spoilers for Evil Within?
I think it's been long enough.
So the whole thing is it's like you're in a computer.
Right.
And that's not revealed until late into Evil Within. And so it does a good job of you like, what is going on? This doesn't make sense.
Right.
In Evil Within 2, he knows he's going into this realm. And so it can dispense with like the mystery part of it, and it goes to more of the sci-fi part of it. Because like you'll be running through like a normal town, and then you like all of a sudden like a house opens up and there's a giant like hatch that leads into like a fucking whole military experiment lab. And so it does a good job of mixing the sci-fi in more with like the supernatural kind of horror, which is what the first game is for most of it. That, and they make you do a greatest hits of boss fights from Evil Within 1 at the end of 2, and he's just so fucking done with it. But then he's just like, oh, fucking god, alright, here we go. It's like, as a fan, you're like, fuck yeah. But then, like, as like a character development, it really shows how he's grown. Then he's like, this motherfucker again?
Yeah.
Jesus. Because, damn it! I thought I was free of this bullshit.
Look, I thought I was done.
Yeah, fucking the arm bitch again? God damn it. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that works really well from like a meta level. Alright, what's the next one?
I am going to bring up Mario RPG, which I did on my own. This is the old box art, but I'm talking about the Switch version.
It still counts.
Yeah,
it still counts.
I am going to slot that pretty solidly into the B+ territory of like, I think this improved a lot on the old the Super Nintendo. I think having the gameplay be a little more, what am I looking for? It's a little easier to manage your party. There was just a lot of quality of life changes they made that I think were very beneficial.
I surprisingly have not played any version of Mario RPG.
I think you would enjoy it.
I like the crunchiness of the original version
Yeah.
with like the old kind of 3D but not really graphics. And I think the remake, it looks good of keeping that kind of in style, but I might play the original because it's that full vibes.
Full vibe.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate
Like, unfortunately,
the,
here recently I've defaulted just saying vibes.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, vibes. Like,
I get what you're saying. I do appreciate that they kept the original soundtrack, so like you could switch between the new tracks and the old tracks.
oh, thank God. I hate it when games only have the re-release
Yeah.
version. Even if the re-release version is a better version of the soundtrack, I want to compare it.
Right.
Looking at you, 10HD.
But yeah, they kept the
Great versions
so
of
you're
the
like,
songs. It's
I
just,
would like the
when I have
crunchy
both.
soundtrack. You can switch it to the crunchy soundtrack.
Yeah, and like I said, it's kind of defined as like, I don't know, vibes is why I really want to play the original version.
Well, it was just these like plasticine model designs that were really
I know.
interesting to look at. That was like, damn,
Mhm.
it's really cool.
Also, I hear like Gino's apparently like the greatest character ever.
It is,
I don't
he
know
has
about that.
he has a lot of fans that go to bat for him. I don't necessarily get it, but you know what? More power to him.
Let him have fun.
is basically my
Uh,
thought process.
I feel satisfied with that. What you got next?
Um,
I feel like our B tier is just gonna start getting overwhelmed.
probably, like, I don't want to give too much like high praise to things, but also, tell you what, I am going to talk about something. I'm going to do Nirvana Initiative, the Somnium Files.
Okay.
And I'm torn because this is one that I do actually want to give S tier, but I know that there's a lot going on that kind of holds it back.
This is your how do you feel that you're gonna feel satisfied with saying when we turn off the stream?
It's one of those things where I think there are a lot of great emotional moments in Nirvana Initiative, but there was like 2 routes in particular in the first game that just hit real hard, where you're like, damn, that hit me right where it counts. Like, that shit felt amazing, because...
Like you had a good cry?
Yeah, basically.
That's gonna be to the moon when we eventually get to it. You're gonna have a good cry.
Because, like, I absolutely do think I would slot Somnium File, or, yes, the original Somnium Files in my S tier. But its sequel, while it does a lot correctly, I am having trouble even now talking to you. Remember, like, were there any big emotional moments? And I'm like, yes, there were, but not nearly as frequently.
And unfortunately, I think if I stand by this, if you don't remember it, that's kind of a sign of your opinions on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is my millionth hot take of the day. The same reason why I'm not big on like Thor 2. Okay, this might not be a hot take. I don't think anybody really likes Thor 2. But my main complaint is I've seen it all the way through twice. I could not tell you a single thing that happens in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Something about elves and they're teleporting at the end, or I don't know.
I think the big
But
reveal...
And so by that logic, that if you don't remember details, unfortunately that means it's not sticking with you.
Yeah. I think the big reveal of Nirvana Initiative is really cool, because this whole storyline is like 6 years apart, because it's like there's a past segment and a future segment, which again is one of the reasons I think Kaname Date is gonna have to be a spin-off, because there's no fucking way you're putting that in the main timeline.
Gotcha. Which is funny, because we just talked down about how you didn't remember it and you still put it at A tier.
No, like, there's big emotional moments that I don't, like, that I had to think about remembering. And there's a lot to love in Nirvana Initiative, but it, like, I would argue that the original just does a lot better as far as routes go.
Okay.
Not to say that Nirvana Initiative doesn't do anything great. Like, the new characters, I kind of love them all. Tama's great, Ryuki's great. I know you have no fucking idea who I'm talking about, but...
I don't know. This is like me when I talk about trails.
Yep.
I just kind of like, okay.
But yeah, Gin...
Sure.
Gin and Amame are lovely.
I love that guy.
Yep. And,
it's my favorite character.
I think the whole terror mystery is really cool.
Okay.
Just, trying to figure out why people's bodies are showing up, like, severed in half at the molecular level.
Damn.
Yep.
This shit got real... Well, I wouldn't say it got real dark, but then the other game literally opens with, like, a panda sawing the dude in half, so, like...
Yep.
You know...
They've...
or it's a polar bear, right? I don't know.
Well, that's
some kind of bear
that's in the trailer.
sawing some person in half.
Yeah, that's in the trailer, but, like, the game literally opens with, like, you finding a dead woman's body in a merry-go-round with her
like an ice pick
through her eyeball, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a great start.
Yep.
For, like, tonality.
I
You
mean-
know exactly what you're in
I mean,
for.
they're murder mystery games, so you know what you're in. Like, you know what this is. But it's enough to where I'm like, yeah, I'll give it A+. I will not give it S tier status, just because I think it... and some of it is on purpose. There's a whole, like, hey, would you be satisfied if I just gave you the answer? Look at this ending where everybody's happy. Isn't this great? And you're like, Oh, what? You're not happy?
Not really.
Like, you're not happy because you didn't have to, like, you just got the answer and everything worked out? It's really unsatisfying, isn't it? You're like, yes, it is.
Thanks for reminding me, Dick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, alright, and what's next?
Costume Quest.
C tier.
I was gonna say, is it bad that I want to go C tier? Not D,
No,
because it's bad, but, like...
This game is literally carried by vibes.
Yeah, it's it knows what it knows what it wants to be, it knows what it is.
I love Costume Quest, but when I'm trying to think of, like, a quality standard and not just, like, vibes, it's gotta be C. It's not a deep gameplay. It's not very long. It has one gimmick it kind of uses a lot. Get new costume, get past obstacle, trick or treat. It's like mechanically not deep at all, but again, the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally the only reason I recommend to play that game. And we have Costume Quest 2 we need to play at some point. But it's just like vibes. And I hate to be like that's why I'm putting it there, but like I love the Halloween aesthetic. I love that it feels like some shitty Halloween special that you would have watched on Cartoon Network.
Right.
I love that vibe. Or it's like the moral is very simple, don't be a dick. I don't know, it just hits me. I feel like a kid when I play that, but again, it's not like the deepest game.
Not at all. Like, it's fun, and it knows what it wants to be fun, and then it's like, okay, get out.
Yeah,
it's kind of like watching
very...
a blockbuster film of like, hey...
Is that a positive, though? It knows what it wants to be, does it, and it gets the fuck out?
Yeah, I mean, I would argue...
Is that a positive?
I think so. I you know, it's not pretending to be anything else. It's not keeping
and I think even by the last area, which is the carnival, I was starting to feel it. Like, okay, okay, I get it. We need to start wrapping it up.
Yeah. You get to a point where you're like, I'm having fun. Could you please, like, you know, bring us to a close?
Yeah. That's a great way to put it. I do think like the last boss fight is actually really good mechanically, and I kind of wish the rest of the game was, but you know.
Yeah.
I kind of wish. Can you switch? I can't remember. Can you switch costumes on the fly, or you're locked in?
I think you were locked in.
Because if you could switch on the fly, that would actually, like, really make it really in depth. Oh, I need this guy's AoE to get rid of these mobs so I can get to the boss. Oh, I need this guy's passive or something. Man, that would actually be really cool. Costume Quest 3. Alright, we're gonna make it. We don't have any of the rights, but we're gonna make it.
Yeah.
We've never made a game before.
We'll make it.
Well, we'll figure it out. We're gonna make it work. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. What you got next?
Earthbound. You were there for that.
I was there for that.
I am...
Is it
Oh, go ahead.
bad if I want to say B tier?
I don't think so. I think that's a very fair assessment on your part, just because I think it does not help that you played Earthbound after having played all the other games inspired by Earthbound. So you could see the origin, like the genesis of the idea, and be like, I feel like your ideas were done better. And you're like, kinda, yeah, that's kind of how art works.
Yeah, and it's got the good, like, Dragon Quest vibes. And I say that with, like, how the leveling handles. Because leveling, as far as I can tell, is mostly randomized.
Very much so.
Or at the very least, you can't see, you don't always guarantee you get one stat and everything.
Yeah.
And so it's always exciting when you get a level up, because you hear, like, the sound cue, and you're like, oh, yeah, who did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Pooh leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it, like, fucks with you. Like, don't listen to, like, the guy with Pooh. Oh, don't you want to give up? Nah. You know, like, it's got a lot of good moments, but I feel like overall, I remember it more for its moments than its overall.
I'm very glad I was able to, like, hand you
issue.
the reins during that part of, like, okay, now Pooh's gonna be asked a bunch of questions, I'm gonna leave it to you to what we do. And you know, the guy comes up, hey, your master wants to see you right away. You're like, fuck that guy, ignore him. You're like...
Yeah, and that turned out to be the right answer. I was just being an asshole about it.
But yeah, I think I remember it more in moments
Yeah,
than I do as like an overall package.
and I think that's what.
I wouldn't be against playing it again on my own.
Yep.
But like maybe after a couple years.
Yeah, I think Earthbound does a lot well, but it's just a lot of like, man, I'm really enjoying my time here. But I think the most memorable thing of you being like, what's the part that everybody kind of hates? I was like, I think it's the desert. And you're like, what the fuck? The desert was easy. And then we went back and we're like, okay, never mind.
It was the return trip
Yeah.
that blew. Because you're like, oh, it's like the desert. People didn't like that. I was like, well, I don't know, it didn't seem that bad. I was like, whatever, it was just like a level, and like it was kind of cool that if you weren't wearing a hat, you got sunburned.
Yep.
Like that's cool. It's one of those like it has a lot of cool ideas, and from what I hear, Mother 3 fixes them and makes them a lot better.
Yep.
I haven't played Mother 3.
I think the turn-based.
Probably should have thrown that on our anticipated list. But
I know we're here.
Can you do?
What can you do? You're here.
What can you do? But yeah, it's one of those like I see why a lot of people were inspired by it, and if I had played it earlier, I probably would have had a higher. But that might be my own subjectiveness getting in the way.
I see.
Because when was the first time you played it?
Probably in college on an emulator.
Yeah, that sounds
Might have
right.
been high school actually, but
High school never ends.
Yep. But yeah, it was an interesting experience of just being like, boy, I don't think I've ever really had a video game be like in a American setting of like, yeah, you're just kind of wandering around the shit.
USA.
Mhm.
I wish there were more American settings. I also had to really stop myself from putting the RPG God on our anticipated game list because this is literally we have Earthbound at home.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet. It's on my list because I love playing weird fucking copycat games. I don't know why. So I had to stop myself from that one. But yeah, I can see how it had such an impact at the time. But for me, it's maybe because I don't have the nostalgia goggles, I didn't feel as attached to it. Yeah, no, I feel pretty solid with that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've got to be getting towards the end. There's not a lot I can think of that we haven't put up here.
Right? That's what I was like, boy, I feel like, and it's partially just because my streaming career has been inconsistent, which I'm hoping to rectify maybe this year.
100%. That's partially me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, nah, I got work.
And some of it is just down to like I need to be better at streaming, and honestly, having the model I think helps just because I don't have to worry about, oh, I got to be presented. Well, you know, not to ruin the movie magic. I'm wearing like nice clothes right now, but I don't have to be as concerned about that.
I'm wearing a Yu Yu Hakusho t-shirt and cargo shorts, so like I'm not looking the nicest.
Yeah.
Also, the Yu Yu Hakusho shirt, it's the designs on the back. You can't even see it. It's just like a black shirt.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, dude, great. I'll tell you about those anime shirts I bought. Fucking amazing. Great Yu Yu Hakusho, great Bleach ones. Ooh. But anyway,
next up,
I feel like we're missing something.
I'm sure we are
But I
missing
can't-
games, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Were there any shorter kind of games we played? I know we played mostly long games, but we were trying to mix in some shorter ones.
Yep.
Shit. I think we're done.
Yeah. So I am currently in the middle of Transistor, but I did check a guide to be like, am I almost done? And they're like, yeah, man, you're basically at the last section.
Okay, so you could feel pretty solid.
Yep. Might be controversial. I'm going C tier.
Wow, I heard that was a really good game.
It's enjoyable. It does a lot of things really well. The system's very nice. I actually kind of enjoy the fact that the game sort of encourages you to. So if you want to unlock like the narrative behind the backstories for people, you have to change up your loadout, your kit, because you have passive abilities, you have upgrades to abilities, and then attacks. And so the way it works is basically you'll get a chip or a program, and you can decide, hey, I want to use this as an attack, or you want to use it as like an upgrade, or you can have it be a passive skill. and you have to put it in all 3 slots to unlock like the complete backstory for that character, because the entire thing seems to be like, oh, these are like characters that were turned into computer programs for the sword.
Okay.
But if you want to know like their background of like how they got like picked up by the Camarada and how they were captured and what happened, you have to use them in every ability.
Okay. So it's one of those where it's more about the side story than the actual main story.
Very much so, just because like.
I'm kind of mixed on those.
Yeah, so it's just been the sword talking because Red, and it's not that she's a silent protagonist. They make it clear like she literally can't talk because her voice was stolen. You got like a Little Mermaid situation.
That can work. I think that can work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So it's just the sword talking right now. And there's been no other speaking character until just now when I got to the Camarada, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're alive, but we kind of assume you're coming up here to kill us." So she was kind of like, "Yeah, I am. I want my fucking voice back."
No, I feel pretty satisfied with that. I'm looking at the list again to see if there's anything I would move around. I feel pretty good about that, especially on the ones that I know about, whether or not I was there for the stream or not, that I can say with authority.
But yeah, Transistor's really fun. The thing I think bogging it down for me is like eventually the gameplay starts to feel a little repetitive, even with the encouragement to like changing up your fight style, because it's run through the city, you've been ambushed, now kill the ambush to move on.
So it works kind of like random encounters, I guess.
Yes, like they're designated where they happen, but you know, you just kind of have to keep trying until you get there. And I get that.
I am indifferent on random encounters, if I'm being honest.
Having not played Hades, it's one of those things where I'm like, I see where the inspiration where Hades came from, and I feel like
Hades is great.
And I feel like Hades does it infinitely better than Transistor does.
Hades is great. I've never actually beaten Hades because, again, skill issue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm weirdly good at like Souls games, and by good I mean I can beat them, but like the top down for some reason I can't vibe with.
Yeah.
So I'm not great at it, and I acknowledge that that's a me problem. Well,
I'm gonna give Reload.
Oh shit, Reload. That's what we forgot.
I'm gonna give Reload the S tier, actually, personally. I think having the social links voiced goes a hell of a long way to help with the emotional connection.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that 100%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because I've only played FES.
Yep.
I mean, I say only because FES is still great. I'm just trying to.
And I think having
if I can put Persona in general as any of the games as S tier.
Yeah, I think having the charters designed to every so often spawn at, hey, here's a clock to make sure your low-level party members are keeping up with you.
That does help.
That goes a long way in helping.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I dropped Ken.
Yeah. Real
early on. I didn't use Aegis or Mitsuru like at all. I pretty much ran Akihiko, Yukari, Koromaru, and Junpei. And I rotated like Akihiko for Junpei or Koromaru for Junpei, pending on the situation.
Right.
Which sucks because I wound up using them a lot in the answer, because the answer you have to. The answer is very much this boss you need to build the party to beat this specifically. You can't just have a general all-purpose party to get through it.
No.
So I really liked their kit by the answer, but I definitely didn't use them because it was like, there's no point in leveling these people up. I know I'm not going to use them for any of the boss fights.
Right.
So I gave up on leveling them. So that's great that there's a comeback mechanic, because I do hate seeing everybody at like level 80 and then one guy's at like level 40 and you're like,
yeah, like that helped me so much because anytime somebody like, hey, this party member is like 2 digits, like more than 10 levels behind, they're like, okay, upgrade them because that's ridiculous. Which I really appreciate that. I appreciate giving all the guys If not social links, they are called something else.
Just like the dorm events or something?
Yeah, it's
Something like that.
something like that.
I do think... Okay, one thing we did put on hold of, like, why we think Persona 4 is so much lower than Persona 3. One, I think the main plot of Persona 3 is more cohesive than Persona 4. And I get that the nature of Persona 4 is a murder mystery.
Yeah.
So, by that nature, there has to be more red herrings. There has to be downtime. Like, for the genre, it does, but me personally, I prefer how I felt like I was always building to something.
Yeah.
More so in 3 than in 4. Because, like, with 4, there'd be a lot of times where it's like, okay, yeah, save a guy. Okay, now save a guy. Okay, now save a guy. But with Persona 3, I really felt like every time the full moon came around, things were getting worse. And you really feel that development in, like, the world.
Yeah.
And so I think it added to the time pressure of it as opposed to 4. Like, I really felt the pressure of those dates as opposed to 4. Where it's like, yeah, whatever, I get to it. And then also them building up to fighting Nyx, I think is done a lot better. Because you know about Nyx a couple months before the end, and it's not just right after the final boss. What you thought was the final boss.
Right.
Being like, oh, just kidding, it's an eyeball.
Linked episodes is what it's called for the. I'm sorry.
Linked episode.
That's,
Okay.
That's what I was googling. I was like, what the fuck is this called? Because I know it has a.
What is this called?
Yeah. The linked episodes for like the boy party members. I appreciate all of that, especially with Akihiko or not Akihiko. I'm sorry, not you're great, Shinji.
Shinji did need a lot of help.
Yep. And
Spoiler free, he's just not in the party long enough. He kind of comes in and out.
Yep. And
He's not really there long enough.
I appreciate that in that month you have him, they give him a lot more linked events and a lot more build up. So especially with the backstory between him and Mitsuru and Akihiko, where they established them as like, yeah, we were in Tartarus for like a year before you showed up and shit sucked.
Yeah, like we've been through this for a while. It was garbage.
Yeah.
It's only just now getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets way worse.
I also love that people were clowning on them. They're like, how the fuck did you suck at like the first 5 blocks of Tartarus? And then they're like, well, if you play the game, you know that they literally couldn't go further until the main character showed up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, they had already been capped out, and they were just there trying to see if they can move forward.
Yeah.
And experimenting. And then my comment on the characters are better in 3 than in 4. And this is my issue with Persona 5 as well. Most of the cast's development is relegated to social links, which on the one hand, it works for that mechanic, but on the other hand, that means their development stops as soon as they join the party.
As soon as you like don't put any time into their backstory, which,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess pros and cons of like, well, that's how friends actually work. But you know, you're like, okay, but this is supposed
Hey,
to
I'm
be.
not trying to be realistic here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm playing a game where I play as a guy who shoots himself in the head
You're like,
and doesn't die.
yeah, and you're like, that's not how a narrative works, though. Is the problem?
And I feel like there's great moments with the Persona Awakenings that don't work as well in Persona 4 and 5 because they're not main story related. That like the first awakening that happens is Akihiko. It's because he resolves to move forward after events.
Yeah.
And you really felt that as opposed to when you get I don't know, like at Ryuji's,
Yeah.
where he's like, "You're my best friend now." Awakening Persona.
Right.
What?
It's a bit much.
Like it doesn't. It almost doesn't seem as meaningful for the Persona to awaken. It feels more like a checklist
A little.
as opposed to like a story related.
As opposed to being tied to a narrative
Because-
plot point.
You could just not do Ryuji and he does not develop. But Akihiko and Junpei, they will develop story-wise. So you get to see their arc play out throughout the whole game as opposed to their introduction.
Yeah.
Because what does Haru do once she joins the main cast?
Yeah, Haru is like, I feel bad for Haru fans because even they're like, fucking give us more Haru.
Yeah. She got boned. She gets more development in Strikers than she does in the main game, which is unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
What is Yusuke? Yusuke is probably my favorite character in 5. What does he do after he joins the main cast?
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, he doesn't develop. He's just kind of part of the group. But Persona 3, they all develop, and also Yukari is best girl. That is another hot take of the day. And also, the answer doesn't work unless you're dating Yukari.
Okay, that
It really doesn't.
that one I am curious about, like how people feel about, like, because I went for Mitsuru, but like it is one of those things where like how.
Not a bad choice. That's number 2.
But I
I'm
am
not denying that.
yeah, but I am curious about like how does it play out if you were dating Mitsuru the whole time and then you do the answer and Yukari is the one that's very emphatic about bringing you back.
Well, see, but it doesn't work because in the answer, if you're not dating Yukari, why does she care this much?
Yeah.
Because she literally, and everybody like hates on Yukari, but like, this is if you did that social link, and it's like this is a person that she was in love with, because she had such issues with her whole life, with her dad leaving her, daddy issues,
Yep.
and her mom being a floozy.
Yep.
It's like she finally has somebody she felt like she could rely on, and then they died. And so like that's a hardcore thing, and a lot of that is set up in the main game, and this is kind of a problem with everybody's a romance option. That's why I'm kind of done with that.
Yeah.
I hate that aspect now of like it's just a dating sim, and it doesn't work for her development if the main character is not dating her, because then this is her one chance to bring him back and get that stability. And so even when she loses the tournament, she's still a petty bitch about it in the original. I think they toned it down more in the remake, but when she loses those tournaments, she's still a petty bitch.
Yeah.
And I think that works for her character. And it's a great character moment. But I think a lot of people just get annoyed at her being like, oh, stop whining.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've realized is a lot of people's hate. They just don't like whiners. Or the second someone like shows too much emotion, they're like, whiner. That's why people hated Hope in 13. Even though Hope's kind of the best character.
I need
That's
to,
a whole
you know,
other debate.
maybe I need to give 13 another shot. I really.
I'll stream it with you.
Okay. It's one of those where I'm like, I'm still gonna complain about like the one long hallway scenario.
It's not that bad, guys. It's not that bad.
You insist, but I remember it being annoying.
Yeah, there are a couple levels that are mostly hallways. I'm not denying that. But it's visually very pretty, and I'm a simple man. That's all I need.
All right.
I'm like, ooh, look at the visuals. Ooh. And one of the best battles. I do have some issues with pacing. Like maybe if it gotten there a little bit faster would have been better. But once it fully opens up, great. One of the best battle systems.
I mean, maybe going back in it with a more open mind, I'll be a little more forgiving.
Oh, I actually love 13. I put that as one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. And that's my millionth hot take of the day. I'm just throwing them out there. Alright, so looking at this tier list of things that we've played. This is all that we remembered off the top of our head, so... Oh, you know what we forgot? Kirby.
Oh!
You played Kirby.
You
You 100%ed Kirby.
I 100... Honestly,
it just came to me.
I loved Kirby.
I was literally leading into the wrap-up, and I was like, no, wait, we're missing Kirby.
You know,
That's what
the
we're
funny
missing.
thing is, I really loved that Kirby. Kirby and the
The new one?
Yeah, Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that was a fantastic especially just because, if there's one thing I miss from, like, the older games, it's the Kirby 64, like, fusing two powers together. I wish that was more of an implementation. But, God, did I really love Forgotten Land and how silly it would get and how much it would implement. You know what? Fuck it. I am confident enough in Forgotten Land to be, like, S tier. Just because of how...
Ow. So, I have only played Kirby Return to Dreamland.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because back in the olden days, me and you played it pretty much the entire game split screen. We never finished it, but we got most of the way through. And then when I was working at a preschool forever ago, one of the games on the Wii was Kirby Return to Dreamland. And I had to help the kids through it because they were like kindergartners.
Yep.
So I had to like, okay, no, maybe you should try doing this. Oh, okay, we got a big jump coming, And so I have a lot of distinct memories of Return to Dreamland, but I've never played any other Kirby game. if you had to pitch me, would Forgotten Lands be a good starting point?
Yes, actually, if you had never played a Kirby game, I think Forgotten Land does a lot of like, hey, here are a bunch of different elements from the older games, as well as a bunch of new shit. Some of the Kirby mouthful.
I'm gonna eat everything and turn into a car.
Yeah, the mouthful forms might freak you out a little bit, but you know what? I think it's kind of worth it just for how silly those get.
I need to check, but I think I also have Triple Deluxe. I just haven't played it. Because I bought a whole bunch of fucking 3DS games when all the shops were closing. I think I either have Triple Deluxe or Planet Robo, and I just have not played them. And not for lack of wanting to, I just haven't gotten to it.
I also think I just kind of appreciate not having King Dedede be the final boss.
That is nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of my biggest complaint with like Mario is that.
It's always Bowser.
Well, okay, that's not true. Because Mario does enough things to make something stand out.
Yeah.
Like 64 was the first 3D. Sunshine has Flood, and that changes the mechanics. And then Galaxy, which is actually the Mario game I played the most of. Still never beat it, but Galaxy again at the preschool, so I played a good amount of it.
Yeah. Just a lot of the solar system thing going on.
Yeah, I think that's got a cool vibes thing. Maybe I'll skip Sunshine and go straight to Galaxy, because I have that All Stars collection. So.
Yeah. Honestly,
I don't know.
Sunshine is very rough in its age of like... I think it's fun. I think, it's very enjoyable. There are sometimes you're going to die and it's not going to be your fault and you're going to hate it.
I had issues with like just a little bit I played of aiming Flood, because like you got to fight the like giant toxic piranha plant.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like you got to like aim for the mouth, and I had such a hard time just moving it. I guess I'm so used to modern games of like pixel perfect accuracy.
Yeah.
For like shooting mechanics that I'm like, what the fuck is this? Okay, yeah, but I feel pretty solid with the tier list. Now that you have everything out here, is there anything you want to move before we move on?
Ooh,
Because I mean, I'm trying. Like personally, I would move like Stardew Valley down, but that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to bat. You're going to bat for it, so I'll let it slide.
I'll put it at the end of the A's, just because.
Okay.
Again, I was comparing it mostly to Valheim, since it was a similar, like, not the same type of gameplay, but it's in the same genre.
I almost want to move Hat in Time up to S tier, but it's got a couple structural issues that prevent it from being S tier.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a couple not great levels.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, aside from the ghost boss, none of the bosses are very good. That ghost demon boss is lit. Holy shit, that thing's amazing. Right. But everything else kind of like...
Like, there's a lot of really... there's a lot of standout levels in Hat in Time. Like, I really love the film noir one.
Oh, I love the set. Like, the movie studio chapter. Yeah. Like, all of it.
Yep.
But it's kind of let down by the boss. And I like the idea behind the last area, like the big open world area. I just kind of don't like how it's all built up to it being corrupted, then you just gotta do it all again. I kind of would have preferred if it was just like free exploring. You can either get all the fragments from this one or don't. Whatever, just free explore it.
Yeah.
The whole like, now we've rung all the bells and now it's corrupted and you gotta go do it again. But this time it's, on fire.
Right.
Like, it's still fun. It's still fun levels. Don't get me wrong. It's just, when I was going to do cleanup, I accidentally started it again, and the world didn't reset until I beat it again.
Oh, that's rough.
And so it was like, I was just trying to do cleanup on like the 2 or 3 things I missed, and I accidentally restarted the whole fiasco. So that was unfortunate, and that kind of holds it back. Because I did 100% A Hat in Time. It's one of the few games I 100%. I pretty much only 100% platformers. Like, when we inevitably get to Jak and Daxter, we're 100%ing it. Very easy, 100%.
Yeah.
Looking at B tier, any movements on that?
I feel pretty solid with the B tier. I don't think anything's gonna be downgrading.
I don't think anything can move up, but I also don't think anything can move down on that one.
Yeah. But I am glad you brought
And
up Hat Time. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You said you brought up what?
Oh,
A Hat in Time?
Yeah, just because of, like, yeah, I was also debating moving it up to S, but I had a few structural problems that I couldn't...
Mm-hmm.
I could probably put it up to, like, an A+, of being like, yeah.
A++,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the fact that I'm always like, I could play through A Hat in Time again is probably a testament to its quality.
Right.
It's kind of like that and, like, Spyro. I am constantly restarting Spyro. Like, I just delete my save file, start over again. Like, you're only halfway through. Yeah, I know, but it's fine. Just delete it. I'll play through a couple levels real fast.
Mhm.
And then same thing with C tier. I feel pretty confident in that.
Yeah. Like Transistor, I
and
was
then-
debating giving B, but I'm like, I've just been... I am about to
And see how,
finish...
you see how it ends
Yeah.
before you fully...
commit to that. But I am in that, like, I'm really kind of just ready for this to be over type of vibe.
Yeah. You know, I get that way with short games, believe it or not. Like, because I always look up how long to beat.
Yeah.
And if a game's like 5 hours, after 2 hours, I'm like, why am I not done yet?
I kind of think that's
Like, 'cause
maybe what my problem is right now with Transistor.
It is weird because 5 hours is already short as shit. But it's like, when I'm already in the mindset of like, I can crank this out in like a sitting, when it takes me 2 sittings because I play a little bit slower than like the average or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I'm already like, why are we not at the end yet? The fuck is this? That's a personal problem.
No, I get it. I got the same thing going on.
Because I just beat, no, did I beat? I just played something really short. Let me look at my list. Give me 1 second. I'm stalling. That's why I keep lists of everything, because I'm like, oh, when did I beat that? Oh, okay, cool. Games beaten 25. I beat Little Nightmares 2. And that was definitely one I was feeling like, why am I not kind of moving faster than I thought? Great game, though. 100% recommend. The visuals are awesome.
Yeah.
But with, like, the initial pitch being like, it's a 5-hour game, just burning through it. When it took me 3 sittings, I was like, oh my god, why is it still taking me 3 sittings? And that's only because I didn't have as much time as I thought I had to play it when I sat down to play it. Yeah, no, but, yeah, I feel pretty solid on that list. Alright.
Yep.
And then, what other ideas did you have? Because, I mean, if anything, I'm gonna have to drop off at, like, 6:30 so I can start making dinner.
Yeah, you're good. I only had...
What is a last-minute tier list we can argue and die on real... Ooh, what if we real fast did best soundtracks in games?
Oh, shit. Are we using any kind of metric, or am I just throwing shit out at random?
First thing you think of. Well, oh shit, can we do a tier list on that? Fuck, that takes a lot more setup.
I was gonna say, it's gonna be me downloading a bunch of box art, but...
Shit. Okay, we'll pause that. We'll bring that around next time we want to do one of these streams.
Honestly, yeah,
Okay,
we'll do it.
think. Idea man, go.
Look, man, all I've got is, like, Phasmo and Repo and other things on standby.
Unfortunately, I don't really have time to get fully invested.
Yep. Because I was gonna be like, hey, look, if you need to end... If you, because I
mean, I might need to drop off then.
I was gonna ask, because I'm, I didn't really plan for this to be for how much.
Not at all. This kind of came, and this actually lasted a lot longer than I thought it was.
Yep.
We got a lot of good discussion out of
Mileage
this,
out
so
of it, right?
I am very proud at the 2 ideas I came up with. I think
it worked out very well.
3 hours out of that shit.
Yeah,
I think that went pretty good.
No, I think it worked well. But here was gonna be my pitch of like, hey, I am also hungry. Why don't we take a break here? We both get dinner and we come back and then we'll do, I don't know, more trails, or hell, Look Outside is $10 and I'm kind of really fucking hyped for that now. So maybe that? What do you think?
We could go on break, and then we'll see how we feel
After
after
the
that.
break. Okay.
But regardless of what I do, if you have the time, do something.
Okay. We will come back in like, I don't know, 2 hours. I have some things I need to take care of.
Yeah, about 2 hours works.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll be back with something.
Thing. But yeah, thanks for
Once
joining.
we come up with that idea.
Honestly, I'm very happy with how this came out, actually. So we will be back in like 2 hours. Because at some point I think I was like, oh, anniversary, 12-hour streams. But A, I have to go to work tomorrow. And B, I don't have enough material for 12 hours. I'm sorry. I just don't.
No. This actually, again, made it a lot longer than I thought it was going to. If I'm being 100% honest with you.
So if Travis and I come back, we'll maybe do trails, or maybe we'll do look outside if you're up for it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Is the
Yeah.
maybe?
All right, that sounds good. And until next time.
Yeah. See you in a bit.
Pick somebody. Whoever you pick, that's my favorite person. I love that guy, whoever you pick. My favorite streamer. That's my favorite person. How'd you know? All right. Well, they're great anyway. Do